kickoff.
The streak began at the beginning of last season for UCF. Went undefeated in the conference at 8-0. Beat Memphis for the American Conference Championship. And then beat Auburn in the Peach Bowl. 13-0 last season, 3-0 this season, and they've won 16 straight as they try to extend that here today at home from Spectrum Stadium. Will be 17 in a row for the UCF Knights. We'll find out as they play host to the Pittsburgh Panthers here today as you are watching the American Athletic Conference on ESPN. And the fans here fired up. They believe it. 2017 national champions. They were 13-0 last year, and they feel like they could keep this going for a long time. And we will find out today if they can here from Orlando, Florida. It's good to have you with us, everyone. Mike Corey alongside Rady and Golia here in your hometown. Good to be here.
Mike, I've been a member of this community for 20 years. I've never seen the fan base so energized, so excited. You talked about the 13-0 season last year, the Peach Bowl win over Auburn. And listen, a lot of the naysayers say it was a self-proclaimed championship. The fans say no. Look at the record books. Look at the NCAA record books. The Coley Matrix has us as a champion. That's what they hang their hats on.
It is. It is in the record books from last year of 2017. National champs 13-0. And now 3-0 this season, and largely in part thanks to the quarterback, Mackenzie Milton, just a junior for this team.
Yeah, you know, the thing that I think sets Mackenzie Milton apart from other quarterbacks is his intelligence. He can read the defenses. He goes through his progressions faster than any quarterback I've seen, and he's really athletic. He's fun to watch. Expect a big game out of Mackenzie Milton today.
Pittsburgh won the toss. They deferred, and UCF will receive to start this game, and we will get our first look at Mackenzie Milton early to start this one. What an atmosphere here today from Orlando.
And one thing we got to watch, partner, as this day goes on, is it's very hot out there.
Yes.
So let's watch how Pitt can sub, get guys in, and see if they can withstand this heat.
No chance for a return, and from the 25-yard line is where UCF will start. And Mackenzie Milton, originally from Hawaii, was committed to Hawaii. Then Scott Frost comes here a couple years ago and now becomes a Knight. And what a season and what a career he's had.
Yeah, and just like I said earlier, I love his intelligence. He's really laid back. We met with him this week, but he's one of those leaders that when it gets on the field, he knows what to tell his teammates. Very competitive. He's one of those guys, it doesn't matter what you're playing, he wants to win, and he's a great leader and an excellent quarterback for this Knights team.
First play is a pass, and it's caught by Michael Kalubiali, the tight end for UCF, and it's a first down, gain of 11.
And Kalubiali and Mackenzie Milton are good friends, and they'll hook up a lot. And you see how quick the Knights go, Mike.
That was like 3 seconds right there as Milton is now dropped for a yard loss on the play.
You got to be careful, though. It's good to go fast. We talk about it all the time, but you need production. So now you're behind the chains on second down here.
Play fake. Milton gets away from pressure. Sideline off the mark, intended for Trey Nixon, and QB pressure was there by Dwayne Hendricks for Pittsburgh.
And this is a huge down early in this game for the Pitt defense. Randy Bates, a defensive coordinator, said we must get off the field on third down. They had a problem with this last week against North Carolina.
They'll change up the formation now as Killens goes into the backfield. That's Adrian Killens, number 9 for UCF. To the right of Milton, the speedster, probably one of the fastest guys in the country. Trying to pick up blockers, though, as Milton's pass incomplete. There was contact. Looking for Trey Nixon. Dane Jackson was there behind them, the quarterback for Pitt. No flags are down.
First look from the booth, it looked like number 11, Dane Jackson, went through the back of the receiver, so I thought a flag was going to come out. No flag, no foul. It's as simple as that. And it just looks like Dane Jackson got there a beat early, and you heard the crowd react as they saw the replay on the big board.
So after an early first down on the first catch of the game, now UCF has to punt. Mac Loudermilk. And this is Rafael Arujo Lopes. There was a flag down as Loudermilk got hit. And the ball scoots out inside the 20. And boy, Cam Bright for Pittsburgh got in there.
36
Loudermilk still on the turf.
And we have multiple flags on, so this ACC crew will get together and see what we have here.
Jerry Magalinis is our referee today. Four flags are down on the field. Everybody threw their flag.
Josh Heupel getting an explanation right now.
Talked to Josh Heupel yesterday, first season for UCF. He said that he thought the potential here was great, and then he came here and realized it was even more than he had anticipated.
There are 2 fouls on the play. Running into the kicker on the defense is declined. Holding during the kick, receiving team, number 36, is accepted. 10-yard penalty, first down.
So they took the holding because the running into the kicker was only going to give them 5 yards. It's not an automatic first down. So they took the penalty that benefited them the most.
So Loudermilk. And he took him a few moments to get up, too. And this kid got hit on the kicking leg that time.
He's a solid guy. He's 6'1", 234. It happened to him Friday night in the game against FAU.
Right.
Yeah, Mac, you know, stayed down there a little bit. Only got a running into, though, there.
So Pittsburgh will start from their own 10-yard line with first down and 10. Their opening series of the day, and it's Quadri Olesen, one of their top running backs, for just one. Quarterback is Kenny Pickett, the sophomore out of Oakhurst, New Jersey. They love his work ethic. Greeny asks a lot of questions, really trying to learn and grow as a quarterback for the Panthers.
He's got a strong arm, big-sized kid, and the thing I noticed on film watching him is he's more athletic than I think people give him credit for. He can hurt you with his feet if you don't contain him.
Play fake. Pickett, nice play on the rollout. It's Maurice French who was wide open. First down up to the 25-yard line. And then he's tied up there. That's a gain of 14 and a first down for Pitt.
And I love the little play. You slide Maurice French, number 2, out into the flat. Linebacker bails out a little half roll by Kenny Pickett. Puts it on French in stride. Let him turn up and get yards after the catch. That's a nicely executed play by Sean Watson and his Pittsburgh offense. And you're going to see totally different paces out of these two teams today. I think Pitt's going to do what they do. They do it a little slower.
Back to the ground, Olesen. And they want to do this. They want to establish this type of their game.
Yeah, you're reading my mind. The thing to watch is this Pitt offense is averaging 212 yards a game. That's 35th best in the nation. UCF on the other side giving up almost 240 yards, which is 1/19th. So it's exactly what Pitt wants to do. Big offensive line. They average about 310 up there. They want to establish it, win it, and get those backs going and grinding this clock out. Your best defense is offense.
Second down and 7. Pickett hits it over there to Jim Medore, and there is a flag down on the field at the 30-yard line. 9-yard play there.
I think you're going to get offensive pass interference on Maurice French, number 2. It looked like he was blocking on the play, although he was doing it with his back, and we'll see what the officials call here.
Pass interference, offense, number 2. 15-yard penalty, second down.
Well, you called it.
Watch Maurice French, number 2. His back's turned like he's trying to catch a pass, but he's actually blocking. And the officials are really good this year watching that. So if the pass is past the line of scrimmage, which it clearly is, and you're blocking, that is offensive pass interference. We saw it perfectly there. It was a good call by this crew.
So French called for the foul, and now they're backed up inside the 15-yard line to the 14, and they'll change up the running back. Darren Hall is in now. But it's second and long, 21. Pickett Over the middle, catch is made. Tyler Sear, the sophomore tight end, but not much. A gain of 6. It was Nate Evans and Richie Grant there for the tackles for UCF. How about this UCF defense? There's so much made about their offense. What about where this defense is at right now?
Listen, they've been giving up a lot of yards. They need to tackle better, but they have 41 takeaways from last year, 9 already this year. That's what they thrive on, takeaways. And Coach Shannon told us just run to the ball and they will happen, and that's what his defenders do.
And they've got 40,000 plus behind him here on a 3rd and 15. Pickett, mid is wide open. Catch by Taysir Mack. And one of the top receivers for Pitt has a gain of 28 to the 48-yard line on the first down.
Yeah, Neville Clark lost the receiver. Good patience by Kenny Pickett. Step up in the pocket. His back was to the student section. We heard how loud it was, and he throws a strike to his receiver. Huge 3rd down conversion.
Pickett is 3 for 3 so far to start. 48 yards passing. Taysir Mack, Rainey, he averages over 22 yards a catch in the season, and you can see why. Picked up 28. And an option play that's broken up for a loss of a yard.
It's a little speed option there. Keenan Johnson, kind of a nickel, walking up there into run support, played it nicely.
First-year defensive coordinator Randy Shannon for this UCF team.
Another laid-back guy, right? Yeah. Great meeting with Randy Shannon, former head coach, Miami Hurricanes, has been around, and great recruiter.
Second down, Pickett in trouble, and it's incomplete. And getting crushed there on the play was Darren Hall as Pat Jasinski was all over him.
Now, Jasinski's one of my favorite players. I mean, he's the quintessential middle linebacker. They call him Savage Pat, and you see why. Led the team in tackles last year with 105. He's just in there. He's reading screen. He recognizes it. He gets there, hits the receiver as he tries to make the catch. Exactly what you want to do from that middle linebacker spot.
Another 3rd down and long here for Pittsburgh. Remember, they converted one just moments ago on a 28-yard catch to Taysir Mack. Pickett has some daylight. He can try to go for it, but he's not going to get close. Nice job by Nate Evans to come up and make that play for UCF. It was 3rd and 11. They have to punt.
I mean, that's exactly what you want to do. If the quarterback wants to run on 3rd and long, that's fine. Once he gives himself up past the line of scrimmage, just come off and make the tackle. Get the ball back.
Drive started at the 10. It stalls just before midfield. And Kirk Christodoulou will punt for Pittsburgh. Fair catch made by Otis Anderson, and UCF will be back on offense when we come back. No score here from Orlando, Florida. Conditions here today. We're going to have them tonight as well on ABC. Top 10 matchup, Ohio State and Penn State at Beaver Stadium. Can't wait. 7:30 p.m. Eastern on ABC, live at the ESPN app. Watch it anywhere you are. We're talking about streaks here today. UCF has the nation's longest winning streak at 16. And how about the two teams coming up tonight right behind them?
One of them's going to come to an end tonight. So this is going to be a good one.
Milton on the pass to Trey Nixon on the catch for UCF in their second offensive series of the game.
I mean, they're so fast, we almost can't get out of our promos before they snap the ball.
Yes, exactly. Jake Brown, the right tackle for UCF, had to come out. His helmet went off. Josh McMullen checks in right now on the right side of the offensive line. Milton taking a shot. Going deep, laid out is Otis Anderson, and he could not bring it in.
And Otis Anderson's an interesting player. They call him the best all-around football player on the team because he can do everything. He's playing wide receiver here. You see him lay out, just can't pull it in, but he plays running back. Special teams, he can throw the ball. I mean, he can really do it all. And look for Otis Anderson to have a big part of this game plan today for UCF offensively.
Jake Brown back in at right tackle for UCF. 5 wide on second down. Melton gets it out quickly to Jedrick Snelson, but right there on the play was Dane Jackson for Pittsburgh.
Well, excellent read by Dane Jackson. He came off his man. He saw the throw underneath, comes up and makes the sure tackle. Excellent play.
Flags fly here.
Offense, number 77. 5-yard penalty, first down.
They got enough for the first, but now backed up 5 after that. And 1st and 15 here early in this first quarter for UCF from their own 23-yard line. Handoff. And Patrick Jones able to make the tackle for Pittsburgh. Not too much happening here on that play. Killens, fastest guys in the country,
and he
really.
He only goes about 165 pounds, but he's really comfortable running between the tackles.
Yeah. Another flag.
Yeah, and false start.
False start, offense, number 78. 5-yard penalty, second down.
And this is going to drive Josh Heupel nuts because they're really going too fast for their own good.
Yep.
And it's good to go fast, but boy, you have to be ready. And it's the unforced errors that coaches just go nuts. And now all of a sudden, you're 2nd and 20. Excuse me, 2nd and 16, way behind the chains.
Killens in the backfield to the right of Milton. We had heard from multiple players yesterday about this team. They thought they went fast last year. It's even faster this season as Killens gets across the 25-yard line. Gain of about 4, but it's going to be 3rd down and long.
And we talked to Josh Heupel about that. He doesn't have a set time that he wants to snap a play, but every play kind of dictates as they're lightning fast right there.
Trying to catch him off guard. It's a deep pass, and it's overthrown and incomplete. And no flags are down. Michael Colubiali, the tight end, racing down there. So athletic. Now, there is a flag now on the far side of the field, up by midfield. Let's see, did that...
Illegal substitution, defense, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
They just kind of dropped it there real quick and picked it up.
And that's what happens. They go so fast, you try to sub your Pittsburgh, and they're up there snapping the ball, and they get caught with an illegal substitution. Too many men. 5-yard penalty, and gives you life now on 3rd down, and makes it more manageable here as well.
You think UCF has to be recognizing that all the time, and they're able to get those kind of calls like that when they see the defense isn't set. And the guy was running off.
Because remember, the defense only gets a chance to sub where the ref steps over the center if UCF subs. UCF didn't sub there. Pittsburgh tried to do it and got caught.
3rd down and 7. Killens, look out. Adrian Killens inside the 20, cuts it back and tripped up. Saving what would have been a touchdown. Jazzy Stalker for Pittsburgh. And the crowd's fired up.
This is just a little underneath crossing route from Adrian Killens. Watch, this is real speed. He's one of the fastest guys, if not the fastest guy in college football. He was a track star in high school at Daytona Beach at Mainland. And that's a little dump pass that Adrian Killens turns into a 64-yard completion.
Injured player is Deslin Alexander for Pittsburgh, the redshirt freshman defensive end. We'll step aside when we come back. 1st and goal for UCF.
The All-State Saturday Kickoff is presented by Allstate. Are you in good hands? And in part by Mountain Dew Ice, a clear, refreshing lemon-lime flavored dew.
Well, when your partner, Reedy and Golia, lives here in Orlando, he gets to bring out the RV here to UCF. Nitro paid us a visit.
We're going to do a little tailgating after this one. There's
Yes.
a big one coming up, Penn State and Ohio State.
Alexander came off the field for Pittsburgh. He is okay for the Panthers, and now it's 1st and goal for UCF. Milton is decked right at the line of scrimmage. And Shane Roy was there, the senior defensive tackle, and makes the play.
Yeah, and Big Roy just came off the block, came down the line of scrimmage. And Milton's not reading him. He's reading the end. Never saw him.
Remember, this is set up from the 64-yard catch and run by Killens down to this area of the field. And now Taj McGowan is in at the running back to the left of Milton. Mackenzie Milton takes off, and he's got it. Touchdown, UCF. And we welcome those of you who are just watching Temple and Boston College. Mike Corey and Rini and Golia with you here today in Orlando at Spectrum Stadium, where the UCF Knights, who have the nation's longest winning streak at 16 in a row, just scored thanks to their quarterback, Mackenzie Milton, on the 5-yard touchdown run. Matthew Wright adds the extra point. That is the 4th rushing touchdown of the season for Milton, who is a Heisman Trophy candidate.
Yeah, Milton starts a nice little pass to Adrian Killens, the running back, out of the backfield. It's a little crossing route. Killens, one of the fastest players in college football, takes it down the sideline, gets tackled at the 5. 1st and goal for the Knights. And Mackenzie Milton is a dual threat. He finishes it off with his feet. Great blocking by Taj McGowan, number 4 up front, that offensive line. And the Knights strike first.
Mackenzie Milton, over 7,000 yards passing now. He's in 5th place all time. About 600 behind Blake Bortles, the Jacksonville Jaguars quarterback. And what a good start here for the Knights on an 8-play, 83-yard drive for the touchdown.
And you see 2 minutes and 29 seconds, Mike. That is now their 17th score in 35 possessions where they've scored in 2 minutes and 39 seconds or less. That's how fast this offense goes. That's pretty, actually, that's like slow for them.
Right.
2:30.
Yeah. Touchback. And this place is electric here today. The active winning streak for UCF, 16 wins in a row. It all began at the beginning of last season. Went 8-0 throughout the American. They beat Memphis for the conference title, beat Auburn in the Peach Bowl. 3-0 this season, and here we are.
And Ohio State, Penn State play tonight, so one of those streaks is coming to an end. But it's really been magical for UCF last year into this year, and the transition from Scott Frost's staff to Josh Heupel has really been seamless.
And you see it says national champions here in the stadium at Spectrum Stadium. The fans believe it, and they talk about it. It's actually in the record books, Rainey. Kenny Pickett is the quarterback for Pittsburgh, and on the rollout, the pass is incomplete.
Mike, I must have been contacted at social media 50 times this week, and they said it's not a self-proclaimed national championship. Look in the NCAA record books. Look at the Coley Matrix. We are in there, and they are. So, I mean, you can't fault them, right? And this fan base is supporting these players. Now, this team kind of has a chip on their shoulder because they think they're disrespected. The American kind of thinks they're disrespected as a conference, and the fan base kind of right with them.
Well, if they win this game here today, I mean, that ranking slowly but surely inching its way up into the top 10, depending on what happens later today. 2nd down, Pittsburgh from the 25. Keeper by Pickett, not going to get anywhere. Knights defense fired up. Nate Evans along with Brandon Moore. They call him Bam, and they were both in there for the tackle.
And that's what you'll see from this Randy Shannon defense is they fly to the football. They're very athletic in the back end, fast. They get to the quarterback, Pickett, to make that tackle there. And again, 3rd and long is not a situation this Pitt offense wants to be in. No offense wants to be in it, but especially Pitt.
With a running team and a young quarterback, where do you go here? 3rd and 10 from the 25. Pickett. Pressure, guns it over the middle, and it's just behind his intended man. It would have been a first down if it was Tyler Sear that was able to make the catch, but the pass was off the mark.
Well, you're right. Sear broke open. Pickett stepped up in the pocket and just threw it a touch behind his big tight end, Tyler Sear, who couldn't turn and make the catch.
Earlier in the contest for Pittsburgh, they did get a first down on a 3rd and 15. It was Tayseer Mack that had a big 28-yard reception up to midfield, but not this time, and they have to punt. And it's Kirk Christodoulou that punts it to Otis Anderson as it goes out at the 31-yard line. Fans, if you're watching us on ESPN News, we are now going to send it out to Nevada and Air Force. Enjoy that game. Our game will continue on ESPNU here on this College Football Saturday. Penalty, UCF keeps the football, and we'll be back. The Knights lead it 7-0 here early in search of 17 wins in a row in Orlando. Back with more after this. UCF here today from Orlando, looking for 17 wins in a row, trying to extend the nation's longest win streak. And they've got this great offensive line here that helps them do what they do and play fast. Boy, 4 returning starters, the newcomers, the right guard there, Cole Schneider. They're so effective.
Great unit. I don't care if you're a spread team, a lightning fast team like UCF, you have to go. They've only allowed 1 sack. Wyatt Miller, the left tackle, is the leader of that unit. 37 straight starts for Miller.
And Mackenzie Milton has thrown for almost 1,000 yards passing so far here today or this season. And so now taking down Rashad Weaver makes the play in the backfield on Killens.
And we saw the sack that they only gave up 1 sack. Now it's hard to sack a quarterback when they go as fast as UCF. So statistically wise, this offense is great for an offensive line.
Right back to action. And the pass is incomplete. There was contact there as well. Otis Anderson, the intended target. Jason Pinnock was right behind him. No flag.
Yeah, and Pinnock's an experienced player, only a sophomore, but he is a good one. And I like how aggressive the DBs from Pittsburgh are playing today.
They've timed it out well here on a couple of hits so far. Third and 12, Milton. And this is what he can do. Mackenzie Milton runs for the first down. Just enough to the 32-yard line. Chased down by Phil Campbell III, but this drive's going to continue.
I mean, you said it. It's what he can do, and that's a backbreaker for a defense. You got him 3rd and long. He steps up in the pocket. He looks like he's going to get tackled a couple times. He breaks a couple tackles. He's actually a stronger, bigger physical guy when I saw him in person than I thought. And he's got good quicks. And right there, he picks up the first down.
Killens in motion, lines up in the slot. Now look out. Pass behind the line of Marlon Williams, and he loses it. Flags are down. Multiple flags down on the field here, and it's going to stay with UCF as Williams got back on it, and they tried a little trickery. Here's the call.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense. Number 10, 15-yard penalty, first down.
So Keyshawn Camp gets called for it and bails out UCF
and
there.
It was clearly a lateral. Marlon Williams did a nice job jumping up, but we're going to see the roughing the passer here as Milton throws it out quick, makes it a lateral. And they're going to call that. I mean, they're going to protect quarterbacks. I don't care if it's a two-handed shove. If it's up high and that quarterback falls down late, looked worse than it was.
Right. That's a huge difference, Rennie. Instead of being backed up deep in your own territory, you've got a first down and you're at your own 47-yard line with a powerful offense.
Yeah.
Greg McCrae is now in the backfield for UCF.
And we've seen it this year, Mike, calling games. I mean, they're calling it closer with quarterbacks and roughing the passer.
McCrae, and not too much. You think about the talent that they have in the skill positions for UCF. We've seen Greg McCrae, Adrian Killens, Taj McGowan, Otis Anderson. They also have Bentavious Thompson, a very talented redshirt freshman. Now a pass goes out to Marlon Williams. Williams makes a man miss, and he's got a first down on the deep pass to the 24-yard line, 27 yards.
And that's how quick they go. You're talking. I put my head down and look at my notes, and I look up, and the ball's in the air. I mean, that is how fast this offense goes.
And a player is down for Pittsburgh, and that's Camp. And we'll take a break with them. 1st and 10 for UCF when we come back. Camp comes off the field for Pittsburgh. It is 7-0 UCF here. And fans, you got to get ESPN Plus. This week, 25 college football games streaming live. Over 125 on the season. More than 10 conferences featured. Tons of great matchups. Get ESPN Plus today. Visit the ESPN app or ESPNplus.com. First and 10 Knights. Milton, pump fake, goes end zone, looking for Gabriel Davis. He's got it. Touchdown, UCF.
It's just a beautiful route by Gabriel Davis. It's a post corner. He turns the DB all the way around. Milton, great patience, puts air under the ball. Perfect throw, drops it in the bucket. And the reaction from Milton.
That was like the Fast Friday walkthrough that they had over in the practice bubble yesterday.
Yeah, nothing walking about their walkthrough. It's Fast Friday.
Milton, 6 of 10 passing for 137 yards already and a touchdown, and now he's thrown a TD pass in 18 straight games for UCF. The streaks, they're all over the place here today.
And that's quintessential UCF. 6 plays, 79 yards. They do it in 1 minute and 44 seconds.
And along with those touchdowns, and now 18 straight, he passes Blake Bortles in the 4th all-time with 57 career touchdown passes. The junior, Mackenzie Milton.
And listen, they're pushing him for Heisman here, right? As they should, as UCF should. And it's hard for a group of 5 guy, but the numbers he's going to put up, they went undefeated last year behind him. Real interesting to see how this thing plays out at the end of the year. But you got to give Mackenzie Milton some consideration, especially if UCF can get close to running the table again.
No doubt. I mean, think about it. Last year, he had over 4,000 yards passing, 37 touchdowns, both school records here at UCF, as they try to get win number 17 in a row here today. And they want to run it out, Pittsburgh. Yeah, that's not going to be a smart decision. Knocked down at the 14-yard line. Not much happening there on the return back.
So take a look at the group of 5, Mike. You see Milton stats update. These are the group of 5 contenders. Ed Oliver, boy, he is dynamic. Going to be a first-round pick. Gets doubled and triple team a lot. Brett Rippon, Boise State, we know what he's doing. Devin Singletary, who played against these Knights last week, is a good one. And then Sutton Smith, having a nice year at Northern Illinois. But these are guys out of the group of 5. And again, you have to have magical special seasons.
Yes.
And right now, Milton's on his way to doing that again.
After the return by Michael Salahuddin, it gets to the 14-yard line, and now it's play action for Pickett. And he's in trouble. He's going to be sacked. Pat Jasinski. No, Randy Charlton, excuse me, and his first sack of the season, the freshman.
And Charlton reads it nicely. Stand-up defensive end. And Kenny Pickett can't get away from him. They tried to roll him out. He had success with that in the first series. And now this Pitt offense is backed up to the UCF student section. Going to be real loud there for Kenny Pickett and his offense.
Pull that jersey down, Randy. You don't want that 8 to look like a 6 there. You got to get credit. Randy Charlton on the sack. 2nd and 16. And a catch is made up at the 20-yard line by Taysir Mack. 12-yard pickup. How about the defense for UCF? You know, you think about this coming in. We know about the offensive firepower. The defense is moving up the ranks now as well.
Yeah, I mean, their biggest issue is really giving up yards in the running game. So they're getting better, but it's a fast, opportunistic defense that gets takeaways. And when your offense is as good as it is, really what you're playing for is, you know, a couple, 2-3 stops a game, a takeaway here or there, and you're in every game with your offense.
Third and 3 for the Panthers. Pickett guns it, and it's dropped. Mack, the intended target. They're all over him. That was Novell Clark for UCF defensively.
And there was great protection up front by that Pitt offensive line. Kenny Pickett had all day. Went to his receiver, Taysir Mack, and a nice job by Novell Clark to rip that ball out because he had it for a moment and would have had the first down.
Correct. We just caught a glimpse of Mack there limping off a little bit on the sideline for Pittsburgh. Let's hope he's okay, and we'll find out what his status is in the next offensive series. Anderson gets hit, did not call for the fair catch, and the ball was on the turf, but it's going to remain UCF football Boy, scary situation there as Mari Maxwell. I think he got back on top of it for UCF.
Boy, and timed it up perfectly. Live ball. UCF fortunate to jump on it.
Yeah, that was Maxwell that recovered it. Let's take a look at today's Buick Drive recap here early in this one with 2:25 to go in the first quarter. Knights moving to football rating.
And doing exactly what they do and do it well, led by Mackenzie Milton. This was a big play as he kept the drive alive on 3rd and 10, picking up the first down with his feet. And then again, scans the field, spreads it around to his receivers nicely. And then the post corner route by Gabriel Davis as Mackenzie Milton drops it in the bucket.
Milton again taking a shot down the field, and it's incomplete. And Trey Nixon had a step too. Pass was just overthrown.
And Nixon, interesting story. He's a redshirt sophomore from Florida, kid from Vieira, Florida. Played at Ole Miss last year, got to transfer, got eligibility immediately because of what happened at Ole Miss, and he's fit in here perfectly with this offense.
Oh, they love him. Yeah, 2 touchdown catches already this season. Just add more speed to the field, right?
Yeah.
Milton scanning it nicely, airs it out again for Otis Anderson, and they feel like they can take shots here on this team, and they've got the speed and the athleticism to do it, but that's a couple now overthrows by Milton.
Well, they're aggressive, right? They are taking shots. The problem is when you don't convert, what happens? You're behind the chains. It's 3rd and 10, and they got to, UCF sub, so you got to let Pitt sub, and that's what the referee told them.
You should wonder if they get close, maybe even 4-down territory here, close to midfield if they don't pick up a first now on 3rd and 10. We'll see. It's smart. Now you take a little extra time here. Get it right. On a 3rd and 10, Milton. Pressure. Not going to get away. Sean Idowu was in there first for Pittsburgh along with Dwayne Hendricks. And it's a loss of 5 on the sack.
And that's the 2nd sack on the year for Mackenzie Milton. Nice job by Idowu, 23. Comes in with a delayed blitz. Milton tries to get out of the pocket. Can't do it. And Idowu gets the sack.
So how about that? We said it earlier, just 1 sack allowed in the previous 3 games, and the first one given up here today. This Pittsburgh defense. Rafael Araujo Lopes from his own 15-yard line. Gets a step. Here he goes. 30. Cuts it back. Gets hit. Still on his feet. Araujo Lopes inside the 30. One man's trying to track him down. He's not going to get him. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. No flags. And Rafael Araujo Lopes takes it to the house.
85 yards, Mike, for Araujo Lopes. Nice job catching the punt. And what a wall that Pittsburgh set up. We'll take a look at it after the extra point, but he gets it to the right side. Picks up a bunch of blocks and great running by Araujo Lopes down that right sideline, and a huge score for the Pitt Panthers.
The punter, Mac Loudermilk, got a hand on him, and I thought he was going to trip him up there, but he stayed on his feet and was able to get the touchdown. What a play. And that puts Pittsburgh right back into this ball game. And the extra point by Alex Kessman makes it a 7-point ball game.
And when you have a good punter like Loudermilk, a lot of times you can outkick your coverage. Araujo Lopes makes the catch and just picks up that wall to the right. Great blocking, no penalties, which is a great thing in and of itself on a punt return. Loudermilk can't make the play, and he takes it to the house.
And we said the last guy there, 48, was the punter, Mac Loudermilk, who did get a hand on him. I counted 5 missed tackles there, if you will, by UCF on special teams.
5 broken tackles if you're Araujo Lopes, right? And you see the happiness of Pat Narduzzi. And you need big plays like that in a game like this.
First Pittsburgh punt return for a touchdown since Quadri Henderson versus Virginia last year at a 75-yarder at the end of October.
You know, we talked to Josh Heupel yesterday, and one of the things he told us, Mike, that he wanted cleaned up was special teams play.
Right.
And you see, last week, Florida Atlantic faked the punt on him. Here you get a punt return for a touchdown, so some things going on in special teams. A good job by Pitt to take advantage of it.
Adrian Killens back to return. But Alex Kessman, who's done a nice job this season kicking off. More than 75% of his kicks go just like that to the back of the end zone, and no chance at a return. So from the 25, the Knights with their lead cut in half, 14-7. That's also for Pittsburgh, kind of quiet the crowd down a little bit here too and get yourselves back in it, because it can get away from you here early if you're not careful.
Yeah, I mean, you don't get that score and somehow you go down 21-zip. That's a lot different. Now 14-7, back in this thing, got momentum. That's the biggest thing. You get that juice play, right? Get some life going on your sideline, big play. Now it's up to the defense here to get a stop, get the offense the ball back.
There's a little flip to Otis Anderson now. He's got a blocker in front, and Anderson's got the first down. 12-yard pickup for UCF.
Yeah, just a little jet sweep to Anderson again. Very multi-talented player, can play a bunch of positions.
Pump fake. Milton again. A flag is thrown. Taking another shot. It's intercepted by Pittsburgh and Dane Jackson. We shall see if it stands. There is a flag down at the 45-yard line on the Pittsburgh side of the field.
Holding defense, number 11. 10-yard penalty, first down.
And that's maybe how Jackson was able to get that interception.
Well, he held the receiver as he tried to get out of his break. Side judge right there. Threw the flag well early. And then it'll negate. A beautiful catch, an interception by Dane Jackson.
So 1st and 10 now from the 47. And the whistles blow before the snap.
I just don't think the ball was ready for play. I don't think the referee blew it ready.
The back judge, the play. The officials were not ready on the field.
Yeah.
Back judge wasn't even set. That's how fast they're going.
Fans are not going to like that, right?
And when you hear the booing, I mean, they think defense of players sit down to slow them down, right? Not even think the refs are trying to slow them down.
They think everybody's trying to slow them down. No, it's okay, everyone. They got to be ready too. Fans were here early too. The students that come in about an hour and a half, 2 hours before the game, they're ready to go. Milton, option, keeper. Nice little hole, gets into Pittsburgh territory and gains about 6. Under a minute to go in this first quarter, and the Knights once again working fast here. That's Killens. It's decked about 2 yards shy of a first down.
And we've seen big plays from the UCF offense in the pass game. One thing we haven't seen is big plays, long runs from these running backs. They are due to break one. Just haven't quite been able to do it.
Nice little hole here for Killens, and when he can break it, you got to look out. That's a nice job by Pittsburgh to stop it, although they get the first down.
All of their backs, but especially Killens with his speed, if they can get to the second level, watch out.
Milton on the fake. Gets away from pressure. A flag is thrown. Deep pass. End zone. Incomplete. And jump ball there. And Paris Ford was on coverage of Gabe Davis for UCF. And the time has expired at the end of the first, but let's get the call here.
Personal foul. Defense, hands to the face. Number 34. 15-yard penalty. First down.
Amir Watts. And it's a first down for UCF.
And that's a point of emphasis this year. We've seen a lot of hands to the face call. Because it's a defensive penalty, the quarter can't end. We'll have one untimed down here, but point of emphasis. If you watch college football this year, you see a lot of personal fouls, hands to the face by defenders and offensive guys as well. That umpire in the middle is watching that.
So one on time down now after the penalty. 6th Pittsburgh penalty for 69 yards in this game thus far. UCF doesn't need any more help, and Killens will take it for 2 yards, and that takes us to the end of the first quarter in Orlando. Beautiful day here on this final weekend in September. The Knights 13-0 last year, 3-0 this year, in search of 17 in a row. The Panthers trying to knock them off, 14-7. First quarter in the books. Back with the second after this.
ESPN, home of the college football playoff.
Welcome back to Orlando, Florida. On the start of the second quarter, UCF and Pittsburgh. The Knights have won 16 in a row. And the Panthers coming in trying to avenge a tough loss last week. You know they're fired up for this game here today.
Yeah, 38-35. They lost to North Carolina last week. That's a tough one.
Milton to the end zone. Anderson, and back shoulder coming back, unable to make the catch.
That's exactly where you want to put that ball. As you said, back shoulder. I just think Otis Anderson lost his footing trying to turn to make that catch, but that's where that pass has to be.
Third down and 8.
This is UCF. This is the longest streak in the nation. And longest college division.
Greg McCray is in the backfield.
Very well. And right now we have UCF here under center. And they're about to go ahead. And
Milton gets a block. Milton with his second touchdown run today.
Called quarterback draw. Great block by number 30, Greg McCray, the running back. And nice job by Mackenzie Milton to read that block, cut off it. Offensive line, excellent job. Quarterback draw to perfection.
Milton does it again. 40 yards rushing, but more importantly, 2 touchdowns. He's also thrown for 1. He's accounted for them all. 21-7 UCF.
The All-State Saturday Kickoff is brought to you by the Chrysler Pacifica Hybrid, America's first and only hybrid minivan, and Temptations, the treat cats can't resist.
The Knights here today in Orlando, Florida, with a 21-7 lead right now over Pittsburgh. As we welcome you back, Mike Corey, Rini, and Golia. It's only early in the second quarter, 10 seconds in.
It's a little toasty in his booth. You think it's hot for Nitro and the night on the horse?
That's crazy,
wow.
right?
About 90 degrees high today. Much hotter on the field.
Said it feels like 98. Yep. I beg to differ. I say it feels like 108. 118.
Oh, when you're wearing a shirt and tie and a suit jacket.
Yeah. We got the towels up here. It's all good. And the kick into the end zone. So Pittsburgh now down by 14 points. Guy that you know well from back in your playing days is Pat Narduzzi, head coach of Pittsburgh.
25-yard line.
Now in his 4th season.
Yeah, I mean, he's a defensive-oriented coach, and that's what he did. He had a great career as a defensive coordinator at Michigan State, and just, you know, I just think his defense isn't playing to the standards that he would like. He knows the challenge going up against a fast-paced team, and it can be tough.
Pittsburgh on a 1st and 10. The handoff to Hall, and not much doing. Just a yard on the play.
And I believe that's 7 carries now for 0 yards for Pitt. You can't do that in a game like this. No. They need to be able to get yardage, especially on 1st down in the run game. And when you can't do that, it bodes for a long day for you. You know, talking about Pat Narduzzi, former Yankee Conference guy like me. He played linebacker at Rhode Island. Graduated in '89. Of course, I played at UMass in the early '90s, and then he went on to coach linebackers. Yeah. Really one of the places he started his coaching career.
Hey, Rams are off to a 3-1 start this season. Only lost to UConn by 7. Peckett guns it. It's caught. It's going to be a short gain, if anything. I don't think anything at all, as it was Dontavius Butler-Jenkins, and Pat Jasinski dropped him on the spot.
And the funny thing is, I think he was actually throwing it to 22, Darren Hall. But it doesn't matter, as Jasinski's there to make the tackle.
Now Pittsburgh is 5 of 7 on 3rd down, but it's a 3rd and 10 deep in their own territory. You got to be careful.
And we saw him, convert a long one. So 5 for 7 is a great 3rd down conversion. We'll see if they can do it again here.
UCF brings it. Pickett's pass is caught over the middle for the 1st down. What a catch by Jacques Louis. They needed that. 15 yards on the reception.
Yeah, UCF walked up like they were going to blitz, came out of it, did not. And Jacques Louis, nice crossing route. I like how he got past the sticks. And right there, Kenny Pickett shows you his arm strength as he zips it in there. And again, another conversion for the Panthers on 3rd down.
6.
All right, so Brendan Hayes shaken up for UCF. Jacques Louis is out of Fort Myers, Florida, the true freshman for Pittsburgh on his 5th catch of the season to keep this drive going.
14 players from the state of Florida on the Pitt roster. It's the most from any state other than Pennsylvania. So obviously this is a fertile recruiting ground. All these schools love to come down to Florida to recruit, especially the skill guys. A lot of skill talent down here.
Yeah, there it is, 45 from PA, but you called it. There is so much talent down here, especially UCF knows it. You don't have to tell them. 1st and 10. And Hall, about 2.5, maybe 3.
Titus Davis made the play there. We met with Titus, number 10, yesterday. Good young man. Played outside linebacker last year. A little smaller. They list him at 250. He's a stand-up defensive end now. He's on the line of scrimmage. Said he loves it. And he's having a ball, but a great young man.
This is a guy that was originally committed to Clemson and then decided wanted to come to UCF. And his first season, though, was that 0-12 season for UCF. And he told me yesterday, his father said, boy, I think you made the right decision over there. And we fast forward to 2018, and absolutely he did. Here's Maurice French. And French gets right up to midfield, and that's where the 1st down marker is at. Let's see, about a little bit shy here is where they mark him out.
Well, and Sean Watson, the offensive coordinator, told us they were going to run a bunch of misdirections, a lot of counters, so you're going to see that a lot. See if they can be productive. They don't pick up the 1st down there, but they get it to 3rd and 1.
Now, you're the former running back. This is where you just have to pound the football and get the 1st down, right?
To me, I'm like a 23 or 22 personnel, 2 tight ends, 2 back. Give me a fullback, and it's an attitude thing. We're going to get a yard on you.
Quadri Olison is the deep back. George Aston, the fullback, and it's a sneak here by Pickett, and he's got it.
And again, when your offensive line averages about 310 across the board, as Pitt does, that's an attitude. You tell yourself, we are getting a yard. We're going to win the line of scrimmage. And that's what they did there. Chose to do it via quarterback sneak with Kenny Pickett.
The offensive line with guys with some experience or older, but they really haven't had a ton of game experience on the offensive line. So you look at it, there's a couple of first-time full starters for Pittsburgh this year that they're trying to become more consistent playing together with each other. Olison gets away from a tackle and still on his feet, diving close to the 1st down, and he should have it, and he does.
Yeah, just an outside zone, and that's exactly what Pitt has to do on 1st down. Olson goes about 225 pounds. I love the outside run because it gives the back multiple cuts. And watch him lower the shoulder at the end, deliver the blow, break the tackle, keep your balance, gain a couple extra yards, and a 1st down. Excellent run by Quadri Olison.
Olison, the senior, back in 2015, he was the Offensive Rookie of the Year in the conference. And now it's out to Michael Salahuddin. About 3 yards on the play. Salahuddin is a true freshman out of Washington, D.C. And you got that redshirt rule now, the new redshirt rule. You could play in as many as 4 games, still redshirt the season. I wonder if they are thinking that, or this guy's going to be out there for the duration.
I love the rule because it gives coaches some flexibility with their true freshmen. Now we see the unintended consequences of it with some quarterbacks like Kelly Bryant transferring from Clemson.
Back to Olison. And he's going to be shy of the 1st down. Yeah, how about that matchup earlier with Clemson and Syracuse? They just sneaked
watch
it
a little
out.
bit, get the win. against Syracuse. And, of course, their freshman quarterback went out with an injury. Hope he's okay, but of course, Kelly Bryant's gone. So, that's what happens.
Big-time game earlier. Got a big-time game tonight. Ohio State, Penn State, where game day was at. And this is a big third down here for Pittsburgh. 3rd and 2. On a drive that began 10 seconds into this quarter, now over 5 minutes old. Pickett hands off Olesen, and the extra effort should be enough at the 29-yard line.
And it is. And again, if you're Pitt, obviously finish this drive off with a touchdown. But the one thing they're doing is, you just mentioned, they're grinding it away on the ground, running the clock, and it's letting that defense get some rest. And again, good job up front by this big offensive line.
And they're in the rhythm now.
Yeah.
Now they're staying on schedule in their run game.
And we're seeing the counters and the misdirections that they want to run. And then we're seeing some outside zone, inside zone sprinkle in. It's exactly what offensive coordinator Sean Watson wanted to do.
They fake it on the sweep, but now Pickett guns it over the middle. It's intercepted. Picked off by UCF. Richie Grant. And Grant takes it across the 30-yard line. 3rd interception of the season for the sophomore.
And Richie Grant's just playing safety high. The receiver for Pitt is running down the seam. I don't think Kenny Pickett saw Richie Grant at all. Steps up, and the drive's ended. Knights still lead it, 21-7. Richie Grant, the safety for UCF. He's playing free zone right in the middle of the field. Does a nice job reading the quarterback, Kenny Pickett. He thinks he has a receiver down the seam. He zones in on him. Grant reads it perfectly, steps in front, and ends the drive with an interception.
Talked to Richie Grant yesterday about it. He said he loves to play man-to-man because it can show what he can do out there, his individual skills. He's also got to like zone here, too, because he was able to get an interception.
Yeah, I mean, nice job right in the middle of the field. He's reading the quarterback, exactly what you want to do. Comes off, times it perfectly for the interception. I tell you what, and that's a backbreaker for Pitt. Did exactly what they wanted to do, establish the run, took over 6 minutes off the clock. But, of course, it ends in a turnover, not a score.
Correct. 6:26 off the clock. Kenny Pickett and company having to ponder what could have been on that drive. As now it's Killens who breaks free for the moment. He's going to get 8 yards. Tracked down by Dennis Briggs.
And you see the frustration for the backs. They just haven't had that long 40, 50, 60-yard run, and they're so close, and they're going to keep going to it.
2nd and short. Killens takes a hit, but he's got it. 1st down, picks up 3. What I love is how fast the plays come in. I mean, think about Josh Heupel. He's the head coach and is the offensive coordinator. A lot on his plate, and he has this thing in like a second.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Milton airs it out. Oh, the catch is made. Gabe Davis on the sideline. 1st down, UCF to the 21.
I mean, you couldn't wrap that ball out and hand it to Gabe Davis any better as Milton drops this dime right in the basket. And you hear the boo bugs in the background. We have another Pitt guy land on the field, and that's what happens to fast teams. I'm not going to say the guy's faking it. You don't know what happened, but teams that go fast, this is what happens. Defenses, you get guys that go down, whether they're cramping, whether you make the call.
Jalen Twyman is down on the field for Pitt. We'll be back. UCF 21-7. Tomorrow, Sunday, NFL Countdown, 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN. You don't want to miss hearing what former Browns quarterback Johnny Manziel has to say about Baker Mayfield, who makes his first career start tomorrow. Plus, Randy Moss in this week's best catches from college football. And you got Moss. That's tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern, Sunday NFL Countdown. And speaking of catches, UCF here averaging 23 yards per catch in this game. 4 catches of 24 or more. It's a hot one here today, Rainey, and we've seen a few guys cramp up if you're Pittsburgh.
Yeah, and you better hope you've hydrated correctly the last couple days.
Milton for Davis. A little bit too strong. Looking for his second touchdown reception today. It was Dane Jackson on coverage. Where's your water? You hydrating here?
I had one. I had one.
All right, get him another
one. I have to
pace yourself.
Pace myself, exactly.
Halftime, 7:21 away. Milton eludes pressure. Here we go again. Second down. He runs down to the 15-yard line, but just about 4 yards shy of a first.
It's just funny because you look at me and you say pacing yourself, and I look back and they're running the play. I'm like, they're not pacing themselves.
They are not. And that's been their thing. They've done a nice job of also keeping Pitt off balance and when they are going to run that fast.
They pick and choose. They dictate the tempo they want to run. But when they turn it up and they want to go fast, it's funny, Josh Heupel said, much easier to slow it down for an offense than to go fast. And they like going fast. They're good at it.
5 of 7 on third down today. Timeout, Pittsburgh.
Timeout. Pitt. Their first timeout of the half. Timeout.
We'll be back. 3rd and 4 for the Knights. Looking for more points here in Orlando when we come back.
The ESPN app now with ESPN Plus. Get more ESPN and download now.
You're watching All-State Saturday Kickoff on ESPN. 21-7, UCF leading Pittsburgh and looking for more. It is a 3rd down and 4 for UCF. They have the nation's #1 third down conversion percentage at 66%. Milton fakes it, keeper. This is going to be close.
It's the old right foot, left spot, and the head linesman comes in with a left foot. I think it's going to be short. Look how quick they're lining up.
They're going to go for it here. Milton, 4th down, inches. Killens, he's got that and more. Adrian Killens, almost 6, but it'll be 1st and goal from the 3, and they want to move fast again.
Yeah, you'll notice the ball carriers will hand the ball to the officials so they can spot it as quick as possible.
It's Killens, and he stopped for no gain.
And that's really trying to catch the defense off guard. Now they'll slow down a bit, but that's what they did on 4th down. They went quick. I mean, usually as a defense, you're like, okay, we stopped them. It's 4th and 1. Oh, we got time. They're going to make a decision. No, they made a decision. They went quick.
Oh, boy, a player going down for Pittsburgh. That's going to incite this UCF crowd here. And that was Patrick Jones, the second. I mean, let me say this, the fans, they think it's, on purpose. I mean, they just had a timeout.
Listen,
they just had a timeout. They ran one play. I don't think
you'll never get me up here speculating with a player because you just never know. Now, it's again, we looked at the weather. We just saw it. It feels like 98 on the field with a heat index. You are going to cramp. You better hydrate in a game like this. And you got a northern school, obviously from Pittsburgh, coming down here. But again, I understand the fans' frustration because they see it all the time.
Yeah, this is Jones, and he's kind of walking around. Well, look at this. Yeah.
Okay. Now, when you look at that, he's got his hands on his hips. It almost looks like he's looking at the sideline, right?
Yeah.
And he goes down. So we're going to let the fans at home be the judge of that. And you saw it, and I'm going to leave it at that.
And they've all kind of jogged off the field as well. So.
And I think he'll be back in within a play or two.
2nd and goal. Taj McGowan now in the backfield to the right of Milton. Milton up top, making the catch is Michael Kalubiali for the touchdown.
Milton puts it high. The 6th-year senior Michael Kalubiali goes up, makes the catch. Gets a foot down in the back. Former wide receiver. They moved him to tight end. Great hands. 6th-year senior got an extra year of eligibility from the NCAA because of an injury. And he said, why not? I'm going to come back and play because he loves Mackenzie Milton.
Extra point from Matthew Wright is good. And that's 4 touchdowns now on the board for UCF with 5:33 to play in this first half. Kalubiali And that medical hardship, as you said, big game last week, career high, 6 catches, 84 yards. Now he's got his first touchdown catch of the season. And the Knights well in command here by 21.
2 minutes and 51 seconds on that drive, Mike. A little long for the Knights.
Yeah, exactly. What's their problem, right? Almost 3 minutes.
So how about this? Four scoring possessions for UCF. 229, 144, 123, and that one was a little long, 251.
And now here's where you have a problem if you're the Pittsburgh team with the offense of trying to be ground control and running the football and stretching the game out. Now you're down by 21.
Yeah, and you don't have that offense really to play from behind. You're going to have to, right? Because now there's no more ground and pound. I mean, you're down 3 scores. But it's imperative, in my opinion, they get some points on this possession here. Got to get some momentum on that sideline.
That combination there of the last 2 drives, the one by Pittsburgh, where they went 6 minutes and 26 seconds and they didn't get anything out of it.
Fair catch. First down on the 25-yard line.
And that scoring drive by UCF could be the difference. Tonight on ABC, expect whiteout conditions like we have here today in Orlando. It's Penn State hosting Ohio State. Battle of the Unbeatens, a top 10 matchup, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, and we have it for you on ABC.
Well, how about Haskins versus McSorley? 2 great quarterbacks. We talked about Heisman contenders earlier. These 2 are both in that conversation. I'm interested to see how Dwayne Haskins plays in front of 100,000 in the whiteout. And Trace McSorley, all that kid does is win. He's a winner.
Remember that Penn State blocked field goal for the touchdown in 2016? This should be fun tonight. Another pass that is almost intercepted. Brandon Moore almost had the pick. Kenny Pickett going over the middle of the pass. And
well, his nickname is Bam. Kind of Bam hands there for Brandon Moore. Does a nice job undercutting it. And there's a reason he's playing defense. Hits him in the breadbasket. I think he was thinking some green grass ahead of him. And he doesn't come up with the interception. They'll get after him in film session for that.
love this graphic, no fly zone. You got that right. Top 2 in the American Athletic Conference. Pass defense and efficiency. It shows Olesen for Pitt. And that's tough because it's still going to be a 3rd down and long here. 3rd and 8 upcoming for the Panthers as we approach the 5-minute mark to play in this first half.
Yeah, and middle linebacker, Mike, Pat Jasinski, who's the leader of that defensive unit, is on the sideline. He's on the bike right now. He's not in there.
Trying to avoid cramping up when he does get out there. Yeah.
But Nate Evans, 44, is in there playing well. It's like next man up, right?
They rotate very effectively, this UCF defense. 3rd and long, that's not going to get it done. Olesen makes the catch, but Titus Davis lays the stick. It is right there to make the play. Loss of 3.
And there's the linebacker out of Titus Davis, although he's playing defensive end. You see him, he's standing up at the end of the line. He reads it perfectly, comes off, and meets Olsen for the TFL.
What a career he's had, right? Came in, George O'Leary, then you had Scott Frost.
How about the seniors on this team? They've played for 3 different coaching staffs, right? They went 0-12. They've gone 13-0, winning a Peach Bowl, and now back at it again, off to a good start. Unbelievable.
Otis Anderson with a little bit of room to run here on the punt return. He's going to have about a 12, maybe 13-yard return.
You know, Mackenzie Milton, a lot of people probably at home kind of chuckled when we said he should be considered in Heisman talks. But the numbers that he puts up, and that's just a nice easy pass to his guy, Adrian Killings, recognize him. Then he can do it with his feet. We've seen a couple called quarterback draw today where Milton has made Pitt suffer. And then a nice little post corner out by Gabe Davis as Milton drops it in another touchdown run on the quarterback draw.
Well, the guy is unreal. He's already 5th in the nation coming in points, responsible for averaging 24 a game. Well, he's been responsible for all 28 here today on 2 touchdown runs and passes.
He's doing this against an ACC team, right? A Power 5 team. And that's like the knock always, that UCF's a group of 5. You know, if they were in a bigger conference, they couldn't do this. So, you know, I think the fans for UCF said, they want to win this game today, but they wanted to win it convincing. They want to show people that they belong, and so far so good if you're a Knights fan.
After the 1 yard by McCray, this pass incomplete from Marlon Williams. It'll be 3rd down and 9 for UCF. And I agree with you. I don't care who's on your schedule. Do you know how hard it is to have an undefeated season, right? I mean, you talk to the big programs, the big guys, right? They know what it's like. They were 13-0 last year, 3-0 so far this year. There's a lot of football left, but that's not easy. 3rd and 9. Milton on the run, and the pass is caught. It is Williams this time, and he's got it for the first. Gain of 11.
And Milton's so dangerous when he gets out of the pocket. He has that quick release, kind of a 3-quarter, and he puts it right to where he wants Marlon Williams to come back. Williams makes sure when he catches the ball, he gets a foot in, and he's past the sticks for the first down. Nice job.
And the American Athletic Conference is getting more respect, as it should. When you think about the great teams in this league, they beat Memphis twice last year for the title in the American. Then you go out and you know, even the USFs, and that Thanksgiving game is always hard. Play fake to McCray as Milton takes a shot deep, and that pass is broken up. And there's a flag. Now he wanted Trey Nixon. And the coverage is back there.
Pass interference, defense, number 32. 15-yard penalty, first down.
By Motley, and got there a little bit too soon.
And just Motley turns at the end, but he contacted him before he turned while the ball's in the air, and that's an easy call for the official. That is pass interference. And that's the thing with UCF. They take so many shots, they just put pressure on the defensive back. You saw the arm get held there as well. Good call. And that's what this offense can do to you. They just put you in stressful situations play after play.
Well, and that's 84 yards now of penalties for Pittsburgh. And McGowan lines up in the backfield. A fake to him, and Milton. Low throw is incomplete. Looking for Nixon. And just back to the way that UCF ended the season last year, beating Auburn in the Peach Bowl. I don't know what more you can do.
And they ended up beating 3 ranked teams last year.
Yeah.
And really just an unbelievable season if you're a Knights fan.
Sold out Spectrum Stadium here in Orlando, Florida. Fan base is awesome here. McGowan breaking free. Look out. Taj McGowan. He's going to set up a 1st and goal for the Knights. That's a run of 21 yards.
Yeah, terrific blocking on the right side. And again, whether it's Killens, Anderson, that time Taj McGowan, get through that hole, square those shoulders up, pop it to the outside, and a nice gain.
UCF already has over 300 yards of offense. We are still in the first half with 2.5 to go, and it's 1st and goal. You asked this question, I think it's valid. It's like when you want to try to slow down, is that difficult?
Yeah.
You know, I think they want to use some clock here. What are they trying to do? McGowan again. Gets down to the 6.
Yeah, and I think Josh Heupel, a perfect scenario is they score, get the 2 minutes off the clock, and don't give Pitt a chance at all with anything here, and get into the house with a 35-7 halftime lead. I mean, that would be a perfect scenario for UCF.
I mean, geez, the way you're playing, think about it. You could score, you could use your timeouts and hold them and get it back and try for more.
Resting your luck there.
They said they're trying to win convincingly, and they're on their way to doing that. Milton to the end zone, and a pass is caught. It's a touchdown.
I think it's coming back, Mike. I think they got 77. Jake Brown with holding.
Holding offense, number 77. 10-yard penalty, 2nd down.
Well, Kalubi would have had his 2nd touchdown catch of the day, but you're right, holding on the offense.
And you'll see at top of the screen, 77, Jake Brown. And it's a good call by the referee, looking right down. He gets that left hand in there, and he just basically takes him to the ground. That is a hold. I know he got his hands off quick, but that is a hold. It's a good call.
The great call is right. Negates the touchdown catch. Jake Brown there, on the right side of the offensive line. He's one of the good ones.
And now if you're Pitt, boy, you got to play aggressive here. You want to try to get a takeaway. Keep UCF from getting some points here. Can't play on your heels.
Yeah, there's not much of that offensive line hasn't done well, though. Brown there, returning starter. With Miller, Hudanik, Johnson, and Schneider. They've paved the way for this offense to be as successful as they have. Milton, off his back foot, incomplete. Gabe Davis, the intended target, going to be 3rd and goal.
And he just tried to throw that to a spot to see if Gabe Davis could get back and make the catch.
We'll see. You can't put it past them, but it may be the first time today they might have to settle for a field goal try here, and they've got a great kicker in Matthew Wright.
And that would be a win for this Pittsburgh defense if they can hold them to a field goal attempt here.
Third and goal from outside the 15-yard line. Pressure, Milton is flushed out. Back across his body, it's intercepted. That's even more of a win for the Pittsburgh D as Hamlin takes it back the other way. Jamar Hamlin still on his feet. He's thinking pick 6. And he is not going to get there. Cut down at the 3-yard line. Flag is back at the 44-yard line. Almost a touchdown.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense. Number 58, get the distance to the goal, penalty, first down.
Unbelievable.
I mean, and even though Mackenzie Milton gets bailed out with the roughing the passer, you cannot throw the ball back into the middle of the field like that. He's a little bit of a gunslinger. He does it. He's going to get bailed out with the call. It's exactly what the Pitt defense needed. The takeaway, almost get the
There
score.
are 2 fouls on the play. Personal foul, roughing the passer, is accepted. After the interception during the return, illegal block in the back is declined. First down, Central Florida.
If you're a Pitt fan, you're not happy,
Yeah,
right?
that is a tough
But
one.
the one thing I will tell you about the crew, they're consistent because we saw one earlier
We
like
did-
that.
we
But
did
boy,
see it earlier.
That is a tough call to negate an interception like that for that Pittsburgh team.
Can't say I do agree with that one.
Yeah.
He pushed him with his hands out. There was no real contact egregiously.
We saw the same thing earlier. Yeah.
Yeah, that's tough. That's going to really flip the script on this one
When
here.
Pat Narduzzi sees that on video, he's not going to be happy. And I'm with you.
Yeah.
Nothing egregious there. Parker.
No. And instead of Pittsburgh football, 1st and goal from the 3, of course, they did have the penalty
They
on the
did have a
return.
penalty, but they would have had the takeaway. They would have had the ball around midfield.
So instead of Pittsburgh ball, it's now a possibility for UCF to go up 4 scores.
Timeout, Central Florida. Their first time out of the half. 30-second timeout.
All right, so you got Milton rolling out. They flushed him out of the pocket.
Yeah, and we just, they're protecting quarterbacks, but it's just a two-handed shove. And to me, that's not roughing the quarterback. But I'm not the official calling the game. We saw one earlier just like that. That's what they're doing, and it's a bad break for Pittsburgh.
Pat Narduzzi wondering the same thing and getting an explanation now. Coming up at the half, Chris Cotter in the studio. Clemson somehow squeaking one out against a tough Syracuse team this year. Lawrence got injured. We'll talk about that. Boomer Sooner, yes, and still frosty in Nebraska. The former UCF coach here, Scott Frost, now the head coach in Nebraska. A tough start for the Cornhuskers.
Yeah, a lot of talk in local media. Did he regret going? Listen, that's native son of Nebraska.
Yes.
Won a national championship there. I think that job opened up quicker than he thought. I think he wanted to stay at UCF, but when that job opened up, he had to jump on it. Huge break, though, for UCF as we get back to play here.
Monstrous. 1st and goal now for the Knights with just over a minute to go in this half. Killens. And now they can really run the clock down and take it to the half, they can get more points. Under a minute to go. Killens wanted to come out. Taj McGowan is back in. They can be so smart with this here with the timing. Game clock and the play clock, and they got 2 timeouts left. For the left side of the line, and it's now Milton on the keeper, and he's going to be decked. And that was Keyshawn Camp. That was not fooled, had the contain and knocks down Milton. Now 3rd and goal.
Yeah, excellent play by Camp. Come down the line of scrimmage just like that. Quarterback doesn't see and you put a lick on him.
Timeout, Central Florida. Their second timeout of the half. 30-second timeout.
Well, while we got a chance, let's take a look at our Goodyear football rankings here in the top 10 for week 5. We know we got that Ohio State-Penn State matchup coming up tonight on ABC. Looking forward to watching that.
You know, we talked about Clemson escaping versus Syracuse today. Of course, Alabama, I think they're up 49-0 in the second quarter in that one, but a lot of good ones. How about that Stanford Notre Dame game as well tonight? So
yes, that's right. 7 versus 8, and you really got to like what LSU was doing too.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
they got all that slack last year. Now look at it, they're right back.
Ed Orgeron, I love that guy, man. His passion, and he's when you think Ed Orgeron, you think LSU.
Tough to win there in Death Valley tonight at 9 o'clock there for the 5th-ranked team in the country.
We're going to do some tailgating later. We're going to watch that Penn State-Ohio State game.
That's right.
We're fans too.
Rainey is from Orlando, lives here. He's got the RV, got it parked out right behind this end zone here.
3rd and goal.
Where UCF will try to score for the 5th time today. 3rd and goal, 15 seconds remaining. Milton goes for Davis, and it's dropped. Incomplete. The coverage is there again from Dane Jackson. That matchups happened all afternoon. 4th and goal.
And Dane Jackson's their best defensive back, and they told us last night he was going to play the wide side of the field, the UCF sideline, because they were not going to substitute Dane Jackson at all during this game. And that's why we're calling his name out so much, because he's in on a bunch of plays. Excellent job by number 11 right there. It's in some good shape, too.
Yes.
Timeout. Pitt, their second timeout of the half. 30-second timeout.
11 ticks left. Matthew Wright will try to add 3 in a moment for UCF. Now fans this season, for every field goal and extra point made by participating universities, Allstate will make a contribution to the university's general scholarship fund. And we say thank you to Allstate. Now let's see if Wright can knock this field goal through here to make it 31-7.
And let's ice him one more time.
Yeah, right. Use another timeout, right?
He says, I can't take in the locker room with me.
Pitt, their 3rd and final timeout of the half. 30-second timeout.
Well, and it was smart. You saw the center there snapped it, and Wright went ahead and kicked it. Get a little practice kick in, right?
Yeah. On a 21-yarder.
Yeah.
Well, it's been all UCF, obviously, here today. They've got the nation's longest winning streak at 16 in a row, trying to make it 17 in a row. You got Penn State, Ohio State tonight, with Ohio State 9 in a row, and then Penn State with 8 in a row. This fan base, how excited today. How fun is this place here? And they got the black and the gold and all the stuff that comes with being a student here in one of the nation's largest enrollments. Over 64,000 students here at this school.
I think one of the officials stumbled after setting the ball, getting out of there. So, bunch of whistles, but everyone's okay.
UCF has run 47 plays today for 316 yards. And they're going to have a 31-7 lead. More than likely here at the half, unless something crazy happens on the kickoff.
And you feel for the defense there, Mike. They really stopped them, had the interception, stopped them again. Good job.
And how about this other streak? 30-plus points in 17 straight games now, including here this one today. So if they get the win, those streaks coincide with each other with the way they've been able to put points on the board. Last year, they were the nation's highest scoring team at 48. This year, they're actually scoring more.
Yeah, I mean, it's a crazy stat. They were averaging over 50 a game, but yeah, 17 straight games, 30 or more points. And I talked about the ranked teams they play. We're talking about Auburn. Memphis was really good last year. It's just a functioning off. And remember, different coaching staff last year. I mean, didn't miss a beat with Josh Hyde, but we asked him about that. He said He changed the personnel or the terminology up a little bit, but some of the things he kept that the kids were familiar with, and he changed some things, but very similar offenses.
I liked what Randy Shannon said, the defensive coordinator for UCF. You know, in a way, he's like, guys, you don't need to worry about getting to know us. Let us get to know you, you know, and see what you can do and put you in the best positions to be successful. And it's going to take us down to 2 seconds remaining in the half. Salahuddin on the return.
The thing about this UCF program, again, they're only 1-6 all time against the ACC, but they've gotten a lot better. That one win coming in 2007 on the road at NC State, and I think that was in the fans' minds as well, playing the same. Remember, they're supposed to play Georgia Tech last year. That got canceled because of a hurricane. You're supposed to play North Carolina earlier this season. That got canceled because of a hurricane. And finally get this ACC opponent in here in Pitt.
This is only the second ever meeting, too, between Pitt and UCF, as Pittsburgh won 52-7 way back, though, in 2006. And Pitt's going to receive the second half kickoff as well. And this run by Hall will take us to the end of the first half. So 30 minutes in the books here, and UCF is halfway on their way to 17 straight and continuing the nation's longest winning streak here at the half. 31-7 at the break. UCF over Pittsburgh. The halftime report coming up.
This halftime report is brought to you by Mountain Dew Ice, a clear, refreshing lemon-lime flavored dew. This halftime report is brought to you by the all-new, totally remixed Volkswagen Jetta. This is the All-State Saturday Kickoff.
And welcome back to the All-State Saturday Kickoff on ESPN. 31-7. UCF leads it at the half here at home at Spectrum Stadium in Orlando. Good to be with you, everyone. Mike and Reedy back here. And boy, you got to have offense if you want to keep up with this Knights team, right?
It's now 17 straight games with 30 or more points for UCF, and they get 30 here at halftime.
Well, and how about the Heisman Trophy candidate, Mackenzie Milton, here for UCF, and he is playing outstanding today.
Completion ratio probably isn't where he wants it, but boy, he was a part of all 4 of those first half touchdowns for the Knights.
He's accounted for everything. Does it through the air and on the ground. The guy's a superstar and really has helped the Knights do what they've done here to put up this 31-7 advantage.
Yeah, the offense goes through Mackenzie Milton. There's no doubt about that.
Second half kickoff as we are ready for the third quarter, and Pittsburgh's going to have the ball to start. But Milton has done it once again. And it's because they've been able to spread him out, too. How about Killens with a 64-yard catch and run?
Just a little throw and let 8K, Adrian Killens, do the rest. And then quarterback draws have been very successful for UCF today. Good blocking up front. And then this dime that Milton throws in there to Gabriel Davis on the post corner. And this UCF offense was really flying in high gear.
You talk about accounting for all the touchdowns. He certainly has. 2 on the ground, 2 through the air. Kalubi Ali with a TD and Mackenzie Milton. And UCF 31-7. Pittsburgh to start the second half. On the ground they go. And it's Olesen. Quadri Olesen, their senior running back. And let's see if they can get off to a positive start here on the ground.
And that's what the Panthers need to do, which they didn't do in the first half, is get your backs going, especially on first downs. Just keeps you ahead of the chains, and it keeps you going. You have to do this against a UCF team that we know how good their offense is. Now, give credit to that UCF defense. They put up a goose egg in the first half as well. I mean, the 7 that pick out was from the punt return.
Kenny Pickett is the quarterback, but it's back to Olesen, and he is hit behind the line of scrimmage. And the first guy in on the scene for UCF was Brandon Moore.
Brandon Moore, that's the type of corner you like, because he's up in run support, but he'll stick his head in there. Exactly what you like. And they got Pat Jasinski, 56, the middle linebacker, the leader. He's back.
Well, this defense for UCF, they have done a nice job of getting into the backfield with tackles for losses this season.
And 10 takeaways, and they're +7 in the turnover margin this season.
A half-a-yard loss there. Now 2nd and 10. Pickett goes to the sideline, and it's incomplete. Looked like off the head of Lavelle Clark. Wanted Maurice French.
It absolutely was off the head. The thing is, you're looking back into the sun in that part of the field, and Clark does a nice job not to interfere. Remember, you don't have to look back. There's no face guarding. As long as you don't contact him, you see the receiver has his hand on him. Clark tries to turn back the ball, doink, hits him in the head. Should I say it? The way to use your head?
Exactly.
I know you were thinking.
I was thinking it.
That's your humor,
you
Mike.
go ahead. Darren Hall is in the backfield for Pitt now on a 3rd down and 10. For protection, but now as Pickett rolls, helmet is off one of his offensive linemen, and this pass is caught. It's out of bounds, though, and incomplete. That was Rafael Araujo Lopes, and there's Mike Herndon.
Yeah, Araujo Lopes tried to drag this foot at the end. We'll get a look at it. And I think it's a good call by the officials.
There's no foul on the play. There's no foul on the play. Number 66, helmet came off. He did not participate. 4th down.
And I was watching it. So by rule, Mike Herndon's helmet came off. You have to stop playing. If you try to continue with the play, he took a couple steps. He wanted to. He stopped. They threw the flag. They talked to one another. They said he didn't participate in the play. There is no flag. But top of the screen, you're going to see the helmet come off. 66. Now he starts to run, but then he stops.
And you know what's crazy about it? I understand the rule, but it was Jasinski that kind of pushed his helmet off, and then you would get penalized for playing more. He
hands to the face, right? Hands to the face. Right. We've seen that a few times. We've seen it today.
Ball is down inside the 30, and we'll be back. Second half just underway. It's UCF well in command.
The college football playoff lives on ESPN.
The American Athletic Conference on ESPN. From Orlando, Florida today, here at Spectrum Stadium, UCF, nation's longest winning streak at 16 games, and largely in part thanks to that guy.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing negative there is the completion percentage, under 50%, but 197 yards, 2 TDs, 2 rushing TDs. Pretty good day. I think he'll take that.
No doubt. Accounted for almost 250 yards and the 4 touchdowns today.
And a half to go, oh, by the way.
Back on offense are the Knights and Adrian Killens for not much. We talked to Mackenzie Milton yesterday, said the transition, from Scott Frost to Josh Heupel, and said it's been great. It's been a real more personal level, getting to know him and the team, and the offense has actually opened up even some more here. They said they've gone wider and they go a little bit faster, and we've seen that here today. Yeah, I didn't think the offense could be faster than it was under Scott Frost, but I watched that first game against UConn, and they were. Anderson in motion. Milton over the middle. Wide open Killens. Nobody's going to stop him. I'll tell you right now. Touchdown UCF. One of the fastest guys in the nation. Adrian Killens. 71 yards.
If you're a Pitt fan, you heard him talk about the tee shoot that North Carolina ran against them last week, and that's exactly what UCF does right here. As Adrian Killens comes out of the backfield right down the seam, it's a mismatch. It's one of the fastest guys in college football. Milton puts it on him, and you're not going to catch Adrian Killens.
Two-time Florida high school state champion in the 200-meter dash. When he gets out like that and the pass is on time, forget about it.
And that's the matchup they were looking for. Was Idu, the linebacker. He goes about 230 pounds. He got Killens at 165 with track speed. It's a mismatch.
Milton's got to love having that guy on his team. It's just unreal what they can do. And the extra point has now made it 38-7. Milton has accounted for all 5 touchdowns today. Killens has accounted for 2 of them. A 64-yard catch and a 71-yarder. And it's all Knights in Orlando.
The All-State Saturday Kickoff is brought to you by Vicks and the all-new, totally remixed Volkswagen Jetta.
How about that flyover here today before the game at Spectrum Stadium? He was right there.
Shook the whole stadium.
Yes. Tell you what else is making the stadium rock today is the way that UCF can score touchdowns and how fast they can do it.
Points.
38-7. Matthew Wright kicks off. And we've got a touchback, and we've got one outstanding matchup coming your way tonight. Battle of two of the top 10, two of the country's most explosive teams. 3 of the last 4 meetings decided by 7 points or less in Saturday Night Football with Ohio State and Penn State tonight, 7:30 Eastern. How about the quarterback matchup, too?
Great matchup. How about the running backs? Like Saquon Barkley leaves for the NFL for the Giants. Miles Sanders gets in there doing work for Penn State. But boy, look at those points per game. Something's got to give tonight, right, between these two teams.
55.5 and 54.5 points a game. Boy, I mean, you're right. We'll see if the defenses come to play in this one. And now Pittsburgh trying to get something going. Dontavius Butler-Jenkins on a 7-yard catch. You had said it earlier, their points have come on the punt return for a touchdown. So offensively, one of their best drives of the day went 6 minutes and 26 seconds, but then they ended up turning the ball over on an interception, and that really hurt them early in this ball game. Darren Hall's in the backfield. Hall breaks free through the middle. One of the best runs of the day for Pitt as he's up close to midfield. And they finally blow it dead at the 49-yard line. First down, gain of 18.
And that's what Pitt needs to do, but obviously get the tempo going a little bit, get a little quicker. Hall took one to the house last week against North Carolina. Had 6 carries for 84 yards. He has that type of ability. You can get him to the second level.
Well, their rush yards after this play already more than they had the entire first half. A little extracurricular activity at the end of the play. They've eclipsed that 36-yard mark in the first half with that run right there by Hall. Here we're just 4 minutes into the second or third quarter.
Yeah, and they just got to keep it up. I mean, this is exactly how they wanted to start the ball game. Unfortunately, they didn't. They are starting this second half that way, and they got to keep it up.
The team is actually 35th in the country in rushing offense coming in, averaging 212 yards on the ground today. Quarterback Kenny Pickett. Pistol with Quadri Olesen behind him, and he gets the call. Second and short, and he's going to be still just short of the first down.
When we talked to Randy Shannon about that with his defense, and one thing he said his defense needed to clean up is so they needed to tackle better. He said they were throwing their shoulders in. They weren't wrapping up. They've been inconsistent. They really stressed tackling this week in practice.
Well, 3rd down and 1 now. Very manageable here, obviously, for Pittsburgh. And they need to get this to keep this drive going. Down by 31. Fullback George Aston is in. Pickett ran a sneak earlier today and got it. And he's going to do the same thing here on this one. So nice job. Still on his feet. Actually, his other players being pushed past him there. He had enough for the first down, close to the 40-yard line. You said Randy Shannon, defensive coordinator for UCF. And when they always say, oh, we got to stop the run, stop the run. It's like, sorry, so what does that mean? He's like, well, we want to get them in a 2nd and long. If they don't get him in a 2nd and long, then they've got to get a negative play on 2nd down to get him into 3rd and long, get him off schedule. And that was his point.
And they did that in the first half, but Pitt's doing a nice job getting positive yards on 1st down here.
And they do it again. And Olesen is to the 31-yard line. It's a 9-yard pickup. Well, did they give him the first? Yes, they do. Nice spot there. So it's a first down. Or no, not the air moving the chain. First down. This is what they wanted to do in this game.
Yeah.
Take their time, run the football. It's just unfortunate for them, obviously, being down by this much. One of their best drives of the day as Pickett rolls out. Got his man. It's Will Gragg, junior tight end. And that's right at the marker, the 20-yard line. That's going to be a first down for Pitt. They're now in the red zone.
And that's what you can do when you're productive in the run game on first down. Now you get that defense on their heels a little bit. You can play action. You can roll your quarterback out. It gives you some options. They just weren't doing it in the first half, weren't consistent enough.
8th play of the drive here with Hall now in the backfield. Darren Hall shut down, no gain. Kyle Gibson.
Yeah, and that time Gibson, 25, his first team all-conference last year in the American. You saw him walk up into the box anticipating that zone run. Squeezes underneath the block and makes that tackle. And again, these seniors have seen it all, right? 0-12.
Yeah.
They've seen 13-0. Incredible.
And they've also
three staffs.
Yeah, they've also moved a lot of guys around too. How about the position changes, especially the defense has worked through for UCF, but it's been to their advantage. 2nd down, Hall gets away from the first man and is able to get the first down. It was Neville Clark that had a chance, and they'll say he stepped out now. Would have been a first had he not stepped out, but he's at the 14-yard line. It's a gain of 6.
And those are the missed tackles Randy Shannon was talking about. Neville Clark comes up. He's in good position from his corner spot, but just doesn't make the tackle. But give Darren Hall credit. He breaks it, gets to the outside, just going to step out short.
Yep.
But still a positive run.
It's a good spot there. Nice job by the officials. Just inside the 15-yard line. It is 3rd down and 4. Olesen coming from out of the backfield as Pickett slips, and he's going to be dropped for a loss. Nate Evans is in there. He spent a lot of time in the backfield today for UCF. You got to go for it here.
Yeah, Kyle Gibbons was there first. Pickett's able to escape him, but Nate Evans, as you said, Mike, finishes off. And I'm with you. They're going to have to go for it here.
Because it looked like he wanted to go out there on the flat to Olesen. It's not enough time. This drive has gone more than 6 minutes as well, but is it going to end up like one of their ones earlier? A 6-minute and 26-second drive that gained nothing. What happens here? It's 4th and 5.
And they got to hurry, Mike. The play clock's running down.
It is down to 2. They get it off. Pickett, and he's going to be sacked. Brendan Hayes for UCF. Second sack of the season for Hayes.
And Pitt just seemed out of sorts there, partner.
They really did. Could have maybe used a timeout. Pat Narduzzi not happy about it. 2 drives of 6+ minutes today for the Panthers, and they've come up empty both times. Week 4 Monday Night Football, AFC West battle. Patrick Mahomes. How about what the Chiefs have done, and him especially? 3-0. They're in the Mile High City to take on the Broncos. 8:15 p.m. Eastern. Coverage begins with Monday Night Countdown at 6 on ESPN.
13 TDs for Mahomes. He can spin it. You got him on the fantasy team or no?
No.
You missed that one, huh?
Everybody missed it.
Someone's got him.
Somebody's got him now, right. He's been outstanding throughout the first 3 games of the season. UCF back on offense, Greg McCray for just 2.
And, you know, getting back to Pitt offensively, you know, those 2 long possessions, Mike, over 13 minutes on the clock and no points to score for. So exactly what they wanted to do,
right.
Possessing the ball, but just no points.
UCF moving fast as usual, but that pass to no one, incomplete. It's going to be 3rd down and 8. Well, and conversely, this is what the Pittsburgh defense needed to do, is at least put them in these type of situations, which we have not seen often today.
And really, so they lined up to go quick, really, so Pitt couldn't sub. And now they just take their time at the line of scrimmage, and they call the play they want to based on the defense that Pitt has in there.
Play fake Milton. Staying on his feet. Somehow able to make the play. Another catch is Trey Nixon.
I mean, unreal is all I can say. It looks like Milton's going to be sacked. He's stumbling. He keeps his balance, and somehow he gets it to Trey Nixon on the comeback route to pick up the first down on 3rd and long. I mean, unbelievable.
What a play, and once again, right back to Nixon. That's a 9-yard gain.
And those were scramble rules there, right? When you're long and your quarterback scrambles your way, you come short. That's what Nixon did. He came back to Milton and they got that completion.
Now it's McCray, first down run inside the 40-yard line. That's a gain of 9. What you also have to be impressed with is how quickly everybody on the offense lines up and is set, and you don't get the flags when you want to move this quickly. They do it again. That's McCray, and they practice it all the time. They're getting lined up.
Give Jake Brown right tackle. Give him credit for a tackle there. I think he got in the way, but he's big hog. He's down there trying to block. But yeah, when this offense starts clicking on all cylinders, they're tough to stop.
Well, and sometimes they'll look back and then in a matter of a flash, they'll snap the ball. They're already knowing where they're going with it. That also catches the defense off guard here now. It's McCray. Not much happening this time. Rashad Wheeler first on the scene for Pittsburgh. Your point is taken. Either they go so fast you're not ready for it, or they don't allow you to sub.
Correct.
And then now they have their choice. They can look at it and take their time and pick you apart.
And that's a strategy. I mean, that's exactly what they do, and they do it well.
Taj McGowan now in the backfield, 3rd and long. UCF converted before. Bottom of the screen is Nixon. Now he'll line up behind Kalubi Ali. Stan McGowan cuts it back. He's going to be 3 yards shy of a first down, and then you either got a 47-yard attempt or you go for it. Yeah, they are.
They got a plan. They want to go. And now they might talk about it. And by talk about it, I mean Josh Heupel on the sideline with his coaches. Definitely want to run some clock here. So if they decide not to go for it, Mike, they'll bleed this clock down to 1 and call a timeout.
Milton passes on time. He's got Gabe Davis, and on the spin move gets away from the defender, and will be marked out of bounds at the 18-yard line. First down, though.
Did I say they would contemplate it? Think going for it? No, they know what they want to do. They got their play called, and big Gabe Davis, big-bodied receiver, 6'2", 212 pounds, and Milton puts it on him, and they convert.
Milton told us yesterday that Coach Heupel kept a lot of plays, formations, and terminology that he was familiar with to ease the transition for when they got hired.
Yeah, and that's kudos to him. You know, said, hey, we'll leave some of the terminology the same, change some stuff, but if the kids are familiar with something, they've been running it for a couple of years, I'm going to change for them.
McGowan again, and he also said he's allowed more freedom in this offense to make the audibles and change the plays as they go down to the end zone. And a flag is down as he wanted Davis.
I think they might have held the big receiver, but we'll see.
Holding defense, number 12. After this, into the goal penalty. Automatic first down.
Now, we were told he goes by Gabe or Gabriel, but Grandma and Mom like Gabriel, so we're going to call him Gabriel right here. He's just a big-bodied receiver. He's hard to handle. They're in a stack formation, and he's just going to get grabbed. And you just have to release him. And I mean, he ends up getting released. He beats him, and Milton just can't put it on him, but nevertheless, they get the penalty.
And he said he likes Gabe, so I'll call him Gabe.
Yeah, there you go.
And,
I'm going to make Grandma and Mom happy.
Yeah, well, okay.
Gabriel.
Yeah. I'll check my Twitter after the game. 5 catches for him, 91 yards and a touchdown last week, and he's right back at it this week again as they go in his direction and out of bounds. And the ball is dropped anyhow, incomplete. But boy, they like that. And they had one earlier when Milton connected with him for the touchdown.
And that's just a matchup they like. Josh Heupel says he looks at matchups, and I talked about the size of Gabriel Davis and Motley, the corner, a little smaller, and they're playing press coverage, man-to-man on the outside, so I would look for UCF to go back to that matchup.
Great thing for Davis, though, is a guy that was a local product from Seminole High School here in Florida, and he all his life has been coming to UCF games, and he wanted to come here, and he does, and he's succeeding, and really one of their best targets on offense. McGowan Up the middle inside the 5-yard line. Shawnee Dowu on the tackle for Pittsburgh. 3rd and goal for the Knights.
And McGowan's really that bigger back that they have that really gets those tough yards, 210 pounds through the middle. Although all the backs talked about, even Killins at 165 pounds.
Yeah.
He will stick his nose in there between the tackles.
Under a minute and a half here in this 3rd quarter. Milton, low throw, incomplete. Wanted Anderson.
And Milton's been off on some passes today with his accuracy. As good a game as he is having. Because that's one there where Anderson's on the outcut. And he just can't connect, and we'll see if they elect to go for it here on 4th and goal.
It's the 14th play of the drive here.
I mean, I think ultimately, Josh Heupel will call a timeout with 1 on the play clock and go ahead and kick the field goal here.
Yeah, play clock inside of 10 seconds. Now let's see. They are going for it. 4th down. Milton. End zone knocked down. Incomplete. And Felipe Motley. As it was intended for Davis once again. And Pitt will take over on downs.
Yeah, and I was incorrect. The clock wasn't even running, so no need there. But they go for it anyway. They stay aggressive. And a good job by the Pitt Panthers to stop. Get them off the field and get that offense the ball back.
It's very sad news this past week. Former Pitt offensive lineman Alex Officer diagnosed with cancer. A guy that was trying to pursue his NFL career and a former Panther, and you just hate to hear stuff like this.
Yeah, I was having a physical with the Kansas City Chiefs when they found it. He's from my hometown, Rochester, New York. Played at Eastridge High School. That's a high school I started my career at. And Alex Officer, great family, great guy. I know he's back in Pittsburgh rehabbing, and he's friends with James Conner, and that's a great inspiration. And our thoughts and prayers go to Alex Officer and his family. I know he's going to fight it and he's going to beat it.
No doubt. I agree with those sentiments, Rooney. As Pittsburgh is on offense now, deep in their own territory. Keeper by Pickett, and you mentioned James Conner and the tweet that he put out this past week in support of Officer as well.
And we know how hard James Conner not only rehabbed to beat cancer, but he wanted to stay in shape as a player. And that's exactly what Alex Officer's doing too. He's not only getting his treatments for cancer, but he wants to stay in shape, in playing shape. And boy, what a role model James Conner is for Alex Officer.
Play clock winding down now here for Pitt. 2nd down, play fake. Pickett. And the pass is incomplete. And another guy that also has Officer close to his heart and on his mind is the center for Pittsburgh, Jimmy Morrissey, number 67. I talked to him this past week, just a sophomore. He was a freshman last year, so Officer really took him under his wing, helped him out. He roomed with him on the road, and think about that. And a guy that really did so much for him, not only in football, on and off the field. So I know it means a lot to Jimmy Morrissey, and his teammates there as well.
Yeah, so Alex, if you're watching, buddy, we're praying for you. You're going to beat it.
It's a 3rd and 7 for Pitt. Pickett from his end zone. And the pass is dropped. A flag is thrown. Looking for Michael Smith, the redshirt freshman wide receiver. The preliminary indication. Let's see from the field judge, looked like a hold. Let's see, here's the call.
Holding, defense, number 20. 10-yard penalty, automatic 1st down.
Brandon Moore, it's ticketed for it, so Pitt's going to take it. Finally, a positive for them.
I was going to say, if you're a Pitt fan, you're saying about time, because they've all gone against us. Finally, we get one. Get a good look at it. Here's Brandon Moore. And you talk about
totally.
it every week. When you grab jersey at all on a separation, on a break, there's an official, there's a side judge, field judge looking down at you, and they're going to call that.
41 yards of penalties for UCF, 101 for Pitt. Perhaps the last play of this third quarter. A.J. Davis is in, who gets the call, the sophomore, and that's going to take us to the end of 3 as UCF is 15 minutes away from extending the nation's longest winning streak to 17 games. We'll be back with the fourth quarter from Orlando right after this.
A playoff statement awaits. Ohio State, Penn State, tonight at 7:30 Eastern on ABC. Who's in?
Time now for our championship drive update, brought to you by Dr. Pepper. And Clemson able to escape today. 4-point win. Lawrence leaving the game with an injury. How about Stanford and Notre Dame? That should be fun tonight, along with Penn State and Ohio State. Got to get the app out for that. Watch both games.
A lot of chaos is going to happen in that top 10.
Fourth quarter begins here in Florida with Pittsburgh on offense and Davis running for a first down for the Panthers.
And you ask what has to happen for a group of 5 team like a UCF to even get a shot at sniffing the CFP playoff? Havoc. You need a lot of stuff to happen in front of you. You need a lot of teams to beat each other up. And you got to have the schedule to knock teams off.
That's Brandon Moore, who's down for UCF. And we've talked about him a lot here today. That's the one thing. We'll step aside. I'll be right back. Brandon Moore looks to be okay. Walking around now, got a little
wants to get back in there. Trainer said, you're sitting out one.
Yeah.
You stop the game. Back up. Seems like he's going to be all right.
Got to stay out for at least one play. Pittsburgh on offense with a first down now from the 28. Play fake as Pickett's in trouble. Gets to the Aston, his fullback, but he's going to be dropped by Eric Gilliard for a loss, as that's the 10th catch of the season for Aston.
Talked a lot about the transition of the offenses, how seamless it was and pretty similar from staff to staff. They did make a pretty big change defensively. They ran a 30 front last year with 3 defensive linemen. Now they're going with a base 40 front. 4 defensive linemen. Randy Shannon said 4-3, and he just said he thought his personnel, when he got here and evaluated, fit that 40 front better, and that's why they're running it.
Well, they've been very aggressive in this ball game too. Trying to get in the backfield on Davis. Making a few Knights miss. About 6 yards.
And, you know, that's the one thing that'll drive you nuts if you're Randy Shannon. You saw a few missed tackles, but, boy, give Davis credit. He's one of those slashing type of runners in there, and you better wrap him up, or he'll get some yards. But all in all, the defense really opportunistic is what I would say. They run to the ball, and they make things happen.
Well, you see the total defensive numbers for UCF much better today, especially overall. They've cut the number in half.
And that 7 really doesn't even go to them scoring because it was on special teams. They're really pitching a shutout.
They are. Pickett. Pass is caught. And the reception right at the first down marker. Let's see. That might be, yep. They're going to give it to him first down, and Will Bragg has it.
And now if you're that defense here in the fourth quarter, you'll give them the underneath stuff. You just come up and make sure tackles. You don't let anything go over the top. You don't get beat over the top. No quick scores. You've got this game in control.
It's been a couple of game-changing plays here in this one, because you look at the score, you're like, oh, 31 points, okay. You do have to go back to a couple plays early in this game that might have got Pitt a little bit closer. You know, could have been 21-14, 28-14. I mean, they were much better there, obviously, but those calls and plays just didn't go their way. And Davis is stopped in the backfield. I mean, they've given up a 64-yard touchdown to Killins and a 71-yarder. It's tough to stop that guy.
But there always is, right? We do games every week. You always see plays happen in the first quarter, second quarter, and you think to yourself, man, if the call went the other way or the guy makes the catch, then maybe, you know.
Well, it changes what you do, too. I don't think people realize that. I mean, you're running different plays, right, when you're down 21 points than if you're running down 7.
Yeah, no doubt.
Second down and 11 for the Panthers, with Davis still in the backfield. And that's behind Greg that time. 3rd and 11 now.
And good pressure that time up front. UCF. Of course, Kenny Pickett to move out of the pocket, throw that one before he wanted to.
Now this season, coming into this game, Pitt not too bad on third downs. I mean, coach going up against the team with the #1 third down conversion percentage.
Yeah.
The UCF at 66%, but they're 45% coming in, which is really not that bad.
That's good. I mean, when you're in third down, you don't want to be, but you want it to be third and short. 3rd and 11, percentages aren't good.
And they're 50% today, 6 of 12. Pressure in, pass to Davis. Let's say gets away, but slips. And it's going to be 4th down. Pitt has to punt. The streak of 16 wins in a row for UCF. And the streak now of 17 games in a row of scoring 30 or more points. I know we always talk about how defense wins championships, right? You hear that all the time. And of course, Coach Narduzzi for Pitt's a defensive guy. But when you have offense, you're never out of it.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's kind of shifted, right? I mean, even a team like Alabama that's known for their defense, now they've caught up to the Joneses offensively too. They're doing the same thing. It's an offensive game now, Mike.
We'll be right back. UCF well in command here today, 38-7 at home versus Pitt.
The All-State Saturday Kickoff is presented by Allstate. Are you in good hands? And in part by Nutro Wholesome Essentials Pet Foods. Nutro, feed the clean.
In Orlando this weekend on our weekly Friday visit to the Children's Hospital, #1 in the nation here, the Arnold Palmer Children's Hospital here in Orlando.
I mean, I'm a little biased. I live here, and both my daughters were born in Arnold Palmer. My youngest one was a preemie, so she was in there, and it's an unbelievable hospital. And, these kids, they say we put a smile on their face. They put a smile on our face. I love doing that weekend and week out, and got to do it in my hometown this week.
No doubt. Really appreciate the staff over there, and U.S. News and World Report every year, it seems like, right up there at the top. And an excellent staff at the Arnold Palmer Children's Hospital here in Orlando. UCF on offense, and McCray getting into the act now. It's some yards across the 45 to the 46. 20-yard run for the first. And they flip it here now to Otis Anderson. And you had said it earlier about this guy. I mean, he's listed in the 2 deep as a utility. Yeah. I think he's like way more than a utility guy. He's unbelievable.
Well, and that counts as a reception. That's a little flip pass. So Mackenzie Milton trying to help his percentage out there. Gets credit for a completion there.
DeMar
the forward toss.
Hamlin is down for Pittsburgh. Well, on the last drive, Milton went over 8,100 yards in his career in total offense, passing Blake Bortles for 4th all time. We'll be right back after this. Today's Mayhem Moment is brought to you by Allstate. This is a huge point in the game here, Rainey. Let's go with this.
Well, I mean, Quentin McGinnis is going to get called for the personal foul. I think it was a tough call, a bad break for Pitt as Milton throws it back across the grain, and DeMar Hamlin, #3, picks it off. Milton sees just laying on the ground. He ain't getting up. The flag goes in. And instead of Pitt getting the ball back to their offense and a possibility of scoring before half, UCF gets a personal foul, and they end up turning that into 3 points.
And that's Hamlin, who was down on the field and did walk off under his own power before we came back from break here. Now we have an 11-yard gain by Greg McCray for UCF. But that was a huge turning point in this game. Because you're right. Now, there was a block in the back on the return. So
Pitt would have gotten about midfield.
They still would have had the ball, right. Potentially a 10-point swing if they happen to get a touchdown. Instead, UCF, as you said, got the field goal. And that's where we're talking about. What's 28-14 right now? Looks drastically different than a 31-point game here at this point.
Sure does.
Catch now. Anderson, ball out. He's got it back.
And I tell you what, all the breaks, all the way the balls have bounced have gone UCF's way today. Whether it's a call by an official or like right there, being able to jump on the fumble, and just one of those things. And I tell you, Mike, when you're good and you win, those things happen for you. And it's just a case here where Anderson starts running. A nice job by Darren Coleman to get his arm in there and rip it out, but Anderson's able to jump out and keep possession. And this is where the fast team now tries to slow down, play a 4-minute offense, and work that play clock.
Milton's pass caught by Davis. He's played well today. Yeah, one of my analysts in basketball for ESPN colleague, I remember him saying about when you're hitting shots, the more you make, the more you make.
The more you make, yeah.
Because that's the rhythm you're in. And, you know, that's kind of what happens here with UCF. Got a whistle and a timeout.
Before the snap, timeout was called by Pitt. Their first time out of the half. Timeout. Thanks.
We'll be back with a 3rd and 2 for UCF on their way to 17 straight and extending the nation's longest win streak. Not a blemish on the schedule for UCF dating back to the start of last season. They are winning in a fury here. 16 in a row and well on their way to number 17 here today.
And I think the one last year in the Peach Bowl against Auburn really made people stand up and say, this team's for real. And I don't care. You can say all you want. Auburn was, you know, not really putting everything in it. It's the Peach Bowl. It's a New Year's Six Bowl. And UCF went up there to Atlanta and played lights out.
And the two teams with the 2nd and 3rd longest winning streaks coming your way tonight. Penn State and Ohio State at 7:30 on ABC. 70-yard run, flag is down. That's McCray as he carried the ball for UCF. Good mix of Anderson,
Personal
McGowan.
Foul, face mask, defense, number 9. Kept the distance to the goal from the end of the run. First down.
On Brightwell.
And I love the way Greg McCray runs. He's one of those kids this year that earned a scholarship. He was a walk-on, and they gave him a scholarship this year, and we've seen so many of them. They said they brought in the police chief, and they were talking about getting tickets, and you guys got to pay your tickets. And they had Greg McCray walk up, and he thought he was getting yelled at by the police chief, and they gave him a scholarship.
Right.
Now, they didn't video it because they were all worried about the police chief.
Yeah, well, they were saying parking tickets, you know, stuff like that around campus, you know, and they brought up Greg McCray, like you said. He's like, oh, no. Good for him, though, getting the scholarship.
Wish they would have videoed. That would have been great.
Been awesome.
The reactions.
Full start offense, number 65. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Well, you talked about McCray. Killens has been in the backfield along with McGowan and Anderson, and now we've got our first look at number 24, Bentavious Thompson, a redshirt freshman. You know, they just got so many weapons back there. And here it is, Bentavious Thompson on the run for UCF. So UCF now over 500 yards today, reigning for the 4th straight game. If you can believe that, it's the most given up by Pitt this season. The total yards for Pitt just 200, so they're plus 300 more so far on this one.
And we talked about Pat Narduzzi being a defensive-minded coach, former defensive coordinator, and not going to be happy after this one.
Nope. Play fake to Thompson, Milton to the end zone. This is caught, and it's Otis Anderson with a touchdown. 13-yard strike for the Knights.
Well, they've been trying to get it to Otis Anderson. He's going to run an out cut, and just great timing between Milton and Anderson as Milton's going to throw the ball before he breaks, in rhythm, in time, splits the defenders. Touchdown, UCF.
Extra point by Matthew Wright. And UCF leaving no doubts here today, midway through the 4th, now 45-7.
And I think it's time Mackenzie Milton could probably take a seat.
I would say
on the
so.
bench.
I like that sign out there. Says "Welcome to the nightmare." And I think a lot of teams have felt that way when they played UCF the last 2 years.
It's been a nightmare for Pitt today. And this will be the second time in school history that UCF has been able to beat a team out of the ACC.
Milton has thrown for 328 yards today, 4 touchdowns. He's run for 2 touchdowns. He's accounted for 379 yards of total offense, 6 TDs. Unreal.
Can do it all, and what sets him apart, and I talked about earlier, is his understanding of the offense, his understanding of the defense, what the defense is going to do, and his ability to go through his reads and progressions so quick. There's not 1 to 3 with him, it's 1 to 5. He'll go through them all, and of course he's versatile. He's really a dual threat. He can hurt you with his feet.
Well, you credit the offensive line for giving them time too. They've played well, they're experienced, but you look at the numbers, there's almost 70% of this team that are freshmen, redshirt freshmen, or sophomores. How crazy is that? Coming your way tonight after Ole Miss LSU on ESPN. It's SportsCenter with SVP. You'll have all the reactions from the Ohio State-Penn State matchup, plus his first look at the top 4 in the rankings. We'll see if the SEC can only get 1 team. We'll find out. We'll talk more about that and a live report from Paris before the final day of the Ryder Cup as we track that as well. SportsCenter with SVP at midnight Eastern, ESPN and the ESPN app.
I'm a big golf guy. Caught a little, but Americans are not playing well. Europeans are really putting it on them, but we'll see. Singles matches, what can happen.
First down at 10 for Pitt from the 25 here with Olesen. And it's a group that comes into this matchup 2-2 on the season after that really tough loss to North Carolina, 1-1 in the conference. You know, you and I were talking about it, thinking, well, you know, 3-1 and 2-0, and you know you're feeling a lot better about yourself. Now you come in and you have this outing. This is going to be tough for them. They got a tough schedule.
They got a conference win already. They've beaten Georgia Tech, which is always tough to play with their triple option that they run at you.
Davis now.
But this is one that UCF fans have been waiting for. Now, the naysayers that aren't pro UCF will say, well, it's a mediocre to bottom-ranked ACC team in Pitt. And that's the naysayers will say. UCF fans are going to say, yeah, we won this game going away, and it's a Power 5 team. So the argument continues, you know, for UCF fans and the UCF naysayers.
Well, it'll be interesting to see, you know, where they go in the rankings. I mean, you know, somebody going to drop out of the top 10. You know, we'll have to find out. I mean, you got the top 10 matchups today with Stanford, Notre Dame, and Penn State, Ohio State. Here's a long pass. It's incomplete. A flag is thrown. And Michael Smith was the intended target.
Pass interference, defense, number 13. 15-yard penalty, first down.
And Byron Brown that time for UCF.
Getting some youngsters in there now, getting them some playing time. And again, yes, he wears 13, so does Gabe Davis, but one's on offense, one on defense. Allowed in college, in case you're confused.
That's right. What about the state of Florida here with the recruiting and the players that have come out of this place? I mean, Josh Heupel, Randy Shannon, they told us about it for UCF. I mean, within a 3-hour drive of top to bottom here.
Yeah, and you can be back in your bed sleeping at night. And I think that's what these coaches really like.
Hall's pass caught by Dontavius Power-Jenkins. So flags are flying here.
The tight end Tyler Sear did a WWE takedown.
Yeah.
You heard the crowd, and a couple different officials saw it, so that'll be a hold.
Holding offense, number 86. 10-yard penalty. Replay first down.
That's the 11th penalty on Pittsburgh today. 123 yards.
Yeah, and it's when the crowd oohs and ahs on a holding call. Usually people can't see him. You know it is. You get that hand there, nice little takedown on Causey. Nickelback.
If you're Pitt, you're going to come back, you know, after this week, and you'll look at the tape and you'll say, okay, penalties. You can't have it. You can't give any more to an already tough to beat UCF team that's going to move the football and even setting yourself back, which just happened here. Catch by Greg. And you can't have 6+ minute drives without getting any points. And they've had 2 of those today.
2 possessions over 13 minutes is what they wanted to do, but no points from it.
Right.
And you just can't do that. And the penalties killed. Now, a couple personal fouls we talked about we believe were questionable.
Sure.
It went against them. But too many other things. You know, and Pitt has Syracuse next week for homecoming, and coulda, shoulda beat Clemson today on the road. So we know that's a much improved team.
Maurice French, nifty play here, and Maurice French making the Knights miss, and he's going to go in for a touchdown for Pittsburgh. 58 yards.
And you like that play call, and we talked about the little misdirection. Unfortunately, it looks like it's going to come a little too late. A little flip forward to French. He catches it, gets underneath, and great speed by Maurice French as he weaves his way through the UCF defenders. And that's what I love about Pat Narduzzi's teams. They never quit.
Right. Second touchdown of the season for French. And that is the first really offensive touchdown, if you will, for Pitt. They had the other 7 on a punt return for a score, and that was way back in the first quarter with 1:13 to go. Rafael Arujo Lopes took it 85 yards to the house, and now here they get the touchdown.
And I'm assuming we'll see an onside kick here.
Yep.
And, you know, Maurice French has been the top threat.
Well, we'll get ready for this matchup with more whiteout conditions tonight. It's going to be crazy at Penn State. They have an 8-game winning streak. Ohio State has won 9 in a row. They are the top 2 scoring teams in the nation, so something will obviously give here tonight at 7:30 on ABC.
Yeah, I can't wait to see this one, and obviously something's going to give. And take a look at the win streaks. UCF looking to make it 17. The Buckeyes 9. Penn State 8. Something's going to happen. You know who 4 is? You know who the 4th team is in the nation?
What you got?
In the ACC, Duke Blue Devils.
Oh, that's right.
7 in a row. Throw a little knowledge in there.
Yeah, Duke's done well this season. It's a good thing. It's good to see, you know, some different teams, you know, start to get things going.
Yeah, now UCF Josh Heupel had to burn a timeout. He didn't really have his hands team in there. They were running someone in late.
UCF.
And that, you just can't do that.
Their first time out of the half.
You know,
30-second
one thing
timeout.
I would say about UCF is that special teams, there's some issues there they need to clean up.
Where does UCF go after this one? They're up 45-14. Can chalk this one up to number 17, and now here we go. So you've got SMU at home next Saturday.
And Memphis, boy, Tulane beat them last night. I just don't think they're the Memphis we're used to. Navy is the one that I would circle November 10th, which always scares the dickens out of you. Cincinnati's undefeated, very improved, but a very young team. And then, of course, the rivalry game against USF in Tampa, and it's at South Florida this year, the war on I-4. But Navy is the one I think that you gotta always circle when you play them, and that's the one I think the UCF fans need to look at. But in saying that, I think they can run the table again. I really do. I didn't think so in the beginning of the season. After seeing them, I think they can.
Now Pitt just kicks it deep here, and the Knights' possession. And we talked about this earlier, I think, coming in, and I was wondering, and it's probably only because UCF has to go at Memphis, you know, but Memphis lost last night at Tulane, so that completely drops their chances now here, according to, you know, us here at ESPN.com and FPI. I mean, it's 40% for UCF to win the American.
Yeah, and I think you look at it, as you said, they adjusted them when Memphis lost last night, and it looks about right to me. Probably maybe give UCF a tick up more, but what do I know?
Other American action, Cincinnati, no trouble at UConn, a 49-7 in that ball game.
UConn defense having some issues this year.
Wasn't also Old Dominion, who after that win is now on the road at ECU and winning that ball game as well. Bentavious Thompson again. And Daryl Mack is now in at quarterback as well for UCF. So Mackenzie Milton's day is done, and Mack's the redshirt freshman out of Norfolk, Virginia.
As we thought. It's good to be able to get your freshman quarterback some reps. You only get better playing.
Back to Thompson. And quarterback for Mack. I mean, you know, what a special talent, you know, he's going to be. I mean, he had the second longest run by a UCF quarterback ever. That was in the UConn game when he came in. Dante Culpepper had a 75-yard run back in the day versus Kent State. Now, that was a 70-yard touchdown run by this guy, and you know, future's bright for him.
Well, and he looks the part, too. I mean, he's only a redshirt freshman. He's 6'3", 230 pounds. He's got those big, broad shoulders. He's got a strong arm, and you're right. And listen, it's not rocket science. Programs that are good have good players. And they go out, they recruit good players, and then you coach them up, but you got to get them on the field.
Thompson.
And when you win, people want to come to your program, right? And that's UCF's in that rhythm now, and Josh Heupel's in a good place.
Thompson out of Miami, Florida. Once again, and that's the thing about the recruiting. Like when you said, you can go and you can see kids multiple times, show your interest. I mean, that just speaks volumes instead of thinking, I got to get on a plane, I got to go check this guy out. The amount of time that the coaches spend on recruiting, and sometimes you don't always get the guy, obviously. You know, you used up a lot of time there. It's tough.
The big three used to dominate the state of Florida. Miami, Florida, and Florida State. You know, no longer really, even though they're a group of five, but UCF's in the equation now. USF, see Lane Kiffin down at Florida Atlantic. A lot more choices for players in Florida.
Option out to Thompson. Another nice play inside the 35. First down, get at 12. Yeah, and all you can do is play who's on your schedule, win games. If you're UCF, keep the streak going and just let the rest of it take care of itself.
They schedule 2 ACC teams, right? They can't control when that schedule's made what those teams' ranks are going to be. You know, everyone always asks me, do they have a path to the college football playoff? You got to play who you play.
Mack as a flag is down.
Holding offense, number 89. 10-yard penalty, first down.
But the thing we didn't mention that's right in front of them, and you know, everyone's talking about CFP, the highest ranked group of 5 team gets that New Year's 6 bowl, right? And so that's in your sights. So you are the highest ranked team right now. Boise State was until they went on the road in Stillwater and lost to Oklahoma State. So UCF has that in front of them. If they can just win out, at least you know you're going to go to a New Year's 6 bowl. You know, they're the youngest college football program in the country to win a New Year's 6 bowl, and they've done it twice.
Still a very young team this year, too. That's just, it's amazing.
I mean young in how old this program is. I mean, it's such a new program.
Mack is taken down, and yeah, there's just so much going for this school right now with everything that they've built up and the message, too, I think. You know, like you said at the start of the broadcast, you see the national champions up on the wall here in the stadium, and they believe it, and you just keep saying it, and then you all of a sudden understand what this team is doing.
And they took a lot of heat. Danny White, the athletic director, they took a lot of heat getting out there saying, hey, we're national champs, we're national champs. They put a target on them, right? But guess what? It worked, right? A lot of national publicity. You say UCF, people know who they are, whether they love them or hate them.
Second down, Anna McCray, and I know you said that earlier. You thought it was tough with a new coach coming in and Heupel. You're like, oh, great.
Yeah.
Put the pressure on him. I don't think he feels pressure at all. I saw him in the hotel this morning. He looked real chill, and look at it.
Cool as a cucumber, but I said, man, got a new coach coming in. He's a first-time head coach. He's taking over for a coach that went 13-0, just beat Auburn in the Peach Bowl, and you're out there proclaiming national champions, and everyone's shooting arrows at you. And yeah, cool as a cucumber came in and said, hey, we'll transition, and we're going to keep going forward.
Coming up at 7 o'clock Eastern, Iowa State, TCU. You ready for that? As our day in college football continues, just halfway through. A lot of football still left here today on our ESPN networks. It was all UCF here today in Orlando. No trouble with the Panthers of Pitt, 45-14, and they will extend the nation's longest win streak to 17 in a row. Congrats to the Knights.
Well, and it's that man right there. Mackenzie Milton had the offense go through him, and he was that dominant today.
Milton accounting for 6 touchdowns today for UCF, and they win it convincingly. 4-0 on the season, 17 in a row before they host SMU next Saturday, and a game that we'll have for you as well. That's all for us. For Rainey and Golia, Mike Corey, thanks for watching. Enjoy the rest of the day of college football, everyone. We say so long from sunny Orlando, Florida. UCF 45, Pitt 14, the final. ESPN Goal Line is next, followed by Iowa State at TCU. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, everyone.